Hello. I'm pretty sure it's live. This says it's live. Setting up a couple more things to try and get myself ready. I'm going to bring up a hex crawl sheet in case I want to put some ideas on the mat or on the map. Trying to get that light volume to go up, or light brightness to go up a little bit. That's better. Okay. Let me run downstairs real quick and grab. Hey, how's it going? Austin, John, Chevron Red, how's it going? Yes, we are live. Going to grab my hex crawl papers. I'm like trying to get my workstation area organized, and I came up here and like my son's still in the middle of like chopping up a bunch of miniatures. Got like little pieces of rubble everywhere. I need to teach him how to clean up after himself. It's pretty, it's all over the place. And some of these are actually still useful bits. I don't want to throw this stuff away. All right, those are the keepers. Be right back. I'm grabbing a hex paper and my Shadowdark binder. My stuff is in the way. Okay. I probably don't need all of this, but I'll bring it just in case. Hey, TSL Frontman, how's it going? Good to be here with you too. Okay, so, yeah, restarting again in Shadowdark. It was a long conversation with my son and Marshall. Marshall had been saying he just wanted to stay in Shadowdark from the point that we were, am I being called a nerd? Let's see, I feel like a 24-hour live stream would be him missing 2/3 of the time. That's, if you're talking about me, that's possible. Okay, so Marshall wanted to stay in Shadowdark the whole time. A few of my other players were interested in sticking with it. So the one thing that kind of helped me, I guess, want to go back to Shadowdark in the conversation that we were having a couple days ago was my friend Marshall reminding me how quickly the rounds went and how fast our sessions were going. And I was like, oh yeah, that was really nice. All right, so I'm resolved, Shadowdark. I think there's a couple things I want to do to adjust the system just slightly. Like maybe I want to add a couple leveling tweaks. I'm not positive about that because again, I don't want to bog down the system with a whole bunch of complication. But I definitely want to make a good primer. And like I have an idea. I don't know that it's a novel idea. But I have an idea, like a setting idea that I want to go with. At least that sounds good to me at the moment. Like it's basically a conflict. And so here I'll give you the pieces of it. So my players, I'm going to leave them aside for a second. They're an outside force coming into a foreign territory, maybe. Okay, but what's going on in this region? There's a small region. Maybe it's an island. Maybe it's like just a recently discovered continent or something. So there's a land, and in that land there are these unicorn people, and they stab you with the horn in their head, and they inject you, and you become a zombie. So in this land, there's a big city, like the largest part of the civilization in this territory is pretty much controlled and run by these unicorn people and then all their drones. And so everyone is basically either a drone or, you know, a resistance, like an opposition to that. Initially, the thought I had was my players could be part of the resistance, but that led me to think that, you know, they might just be running the whole time, and I don't know, that didn't sound very interesting. So a second thought I had was, okay, maybe a different nation, you know, someone unrelated to this unicorn people nation, had set up a fort, right? So they got like a fort right at the edge of the beach, and they'd set up an outpost there, and the other nation where my players come from loses contact with the fort. You know, they send a messenger doesn't report back. They send a boat, the boat gets destroyed. So my players are being sent in to go retake this fort, and it's at like the edge of the unicorn people kingdom, right? And at the time my players are going to go back to it, it's not occupied by unicorn people. It's already been sacked and destroyed, and now there's like orcs in it. So my players are going to be going in and maybe trying to take this fort, and that's their only objective, is to retake the fort, maybe discover what's going on in the region, okay? And they're going to encounter this resistance of orcs. They're going to fight or kill the orcs or do whatever they do, but the orcs, like my son and my friend in Thailand have already said, like, yeah, we're totally fine with you playing the game hardcore with us. Like, don't baby us, kill our players if we play stupid. Like, my son has been like, look, I really want to be in a party of people who are playing together. Like, that's the number one thing my son has said. Like, he said, punish us if we don't play together. Like, if anyone like leaves the group, he's like, I want you to put their character into a blender. I was like, okay, I'm not going to go that far, but I will make a game. I will create a game. What's the right word? Atmosphere that makes the players realize they need to work together, and if they go running off on their own, they're going to die. And so I'm okay. I agree, that might be a good way to go for our table, since we have a lot of people going, let me do this and that, okay? All right, let's see. Yes, you're supposed to buy skills and attributes, not just magically gain them. Okay, you're supposed to buy skills and attributes, just not just magically gain them. Tell me a little bit more what you mean about that, Austin. Because when I hear buy skills and attributes, I think two things, and I'm not sure which one you mean. I think there should be like a point system in like the leveling up where players get to put points into something, but I also hear like spend finances to buy magical spells or something. Let's see, there are massive oil fields. I mean, weapons of mass destruction. Let's see, there are massive oil fields. Okay, weapons of, so I have thought about in this region, in this like area with the unicorn people, and well, let me finish the first thought. I have had this thought, like they might be like a superpower, like they'd be a hard group to come up against. But if my players decide to explore this kind of foreign area, this new world or something, if they decide to explore this, they are going to discover that there's like technology and, you know, advanced stuff that might be like more advanced than what they have. And so there would be some interesting discovery they could make, and maybe they get like, you know, cool weapons. They might even, so Gary's been running me in a game where there's like an island nation, like an archipelago, and I really like that idea because the thought of having a boat and being able to build up like a mobile base, that's very cool. And so I think I'm actually going to steal some of Gary's setting ideas, but I'm going to change like all the dynamics of like the villains, right? Because they're the unicorn people. So, all right, chat's going pretty fast now. Let me try and catch up. Okay, indent your code. You did make it. How's it going? Satori, how are you? Okay, so the theme is levels of control. Austin, yeah, I think the theme is. I don't disagree with levels of control, but I think I might shift it to what is an individual? You know, like a question, like what does it mean to be an individual or something, right? Because essentially my players are a group of individuals fighting against a collective. Essentially the unicorn man thing is like the story of the Borg or the zombie apocalypse, that type of thing. Like you're fighting against collectivism. and individuality fighting against collectivism, like, you know, they have a unique advantage and a unique disadvantage, but they're like, you know, they're on opposite sides of each other. So, all right, see, don't baby us. No, that's exactly right, Gary. My son was like, don't baby us. I want it to be hard. I don't want you to get floofy and give us pets and stuff. Just kill us. You know, I was like, all right. I thank you for the permission. I appreciate that. Let's see. Satori says, this was basically my advice. Help the military get in good with the government. Help the military to get in good with the government. Explain what you mean by that, Satori. John, see, so it sounds like he actually likes the point of Shadowdark. I think my son does like the point of Shadowdark. I think he recognizes that when we don't play in a deadly setting, what ends up happening with our players is they kind of go off the rails, they get distracted, they start making, you know, I don't know, they just start doing things. Every negotiation ends up like taking time. My son likes to get in the problem solving thing. Like, and he likes there to be a problem, and his favorite game sessions have been non-combat ones, but there was still a conflict. Like, there was still like, we better negotiate this right or we're gonna die. So I think that's my son's tonal preference, is conflict. So let's see. Shadowdark feels like a very balanced breakfast that only lacks the chocolate chip pancakes. Most systems have some sort of sprinkles gimmick that's fun, but not as well rounded, right? You know what? And I think okay, that's a good point, TSL Frontman. I think I need to get good at making some bacon and eggs, because right now I'm trying to add too much chocolate sprinkles, and you know, I need to get good at bacon and eggs. So that's a good parallel. I appreciate that. Let's see. Gary says he will of course remember this. Yes, that is a good thing to remember. If we play stupid tonight, Gary, just kill us, okay? Let's see. Import pancake from Nave. All right. And you know, I've thought about that somewhat. Like, yeah, I could definitely go for. I think Nave is the one that has the interesting magical system where you're combining like words to make, you know, sort of a dynamic spell. That's not a bad idea if that's what you're talking about. Maybe even like taking some of the magic items. I like some of the magic item ideas from Shadowdark, but I think I'm already ready to make my own table of magic items. I don't mean I'm ready to, but I think the magic item system in Shadowdark off the generic creator. I don't know how to say it, but I want to add something to it, if that makes sense. You know, maybe some different bonuses or abilities or something. You can tell me if you guys know of any cool systems to make magic items or to make specialized magic items. Let me know. All right, let's see. Hey Satori, you asked me a question about my game like 2 weeks ago, and I missed answering it, and it's haunted you ever since. Yeah. TSL Frontman, if you have the, or actually, Satori, if you're in the Discord, or if you guys are in multiple Discords, just link them there. You know, like the, otherwise, yeah, I mean, you can feel free to post it here, TSL Frontman. I know that YouTube is a real pain about posting links to things, and it deletes stuff all the time. So, oh, okay, Chevron's just making a joke about WMDs. But no, that is essentially the thing, right? Like that's like my players being sent out on a mission is kind of like go search for the WMDs. We want to figure out what's going on in this other nation over here where we have like a small outpost. Like we have a small outpost. So they're from the nation of whatever, okay? And that nation has a small outpost on a different island that they've lost contact with. That's the whole thing my players know. My players are going to go there. They're going to fight some orcs. They're going to discover maybe like a few NPCs who might have survived. They'll get a little bit of information about what's going on. And then my players will either go, we're going to peace out and take this ship back home. We've, you know, made contact with the base. We know what's happening. Or they're going to go, let's explore further, right? And I don't know if I want to prevent them from going back home. Like, I don't know if I want to just force them into the campaign. They go, they retake the fort, and maybe they fortify it. You know, maybe they venture out into the world. Like, I just want them, because I was talking with Indenture Code yesterday, and like the thing that he gave me as an idea was make a conflict that the players can resolve in like 4 or 5 sessions. You know, like. Or at least accountable, like a quantifiable amount of sessions, like create some sort of conflict that you know that they can beat, you know, within a set period of time. And I'm like, okay, you know, maybe 4 or 5 sessions is a good thing, so they can come away with a sense of accomplishment. Then they can decide, hey, we like this campaign, we'd like to continue exploring this island world or whatever, and we want to do X, Y, and Z. So I think that's kind of what I'm going for. Let me keep trying to read through here, because you guys are, I'm sure you're giving me helpful suggestions. Let's see. I think the idea is you buy them with your time, energy, not necessarily coin or skill points. I get you. And that is also something I would like to do. I've been thinking about doing like the one-to-one timing type of game. That's, you know, that might be a struggle for me at first, but I recognize the potential in one-to-one timing where my players can, let's say, retake over the base. They can start fortifying things, and then we go, okay, we're going to come back next week and we'll decide what we're going to do. But in the meantime, what are you guys doing during this week? And some of my players can be like, I want to build up the defenses. I want to try and get the catapult ready. I want to go out and look for resources, right? They can like start to develop some things. We want to negotiate with this tribe of so-and-so over here. And I think that's an interesting way to kind of build up the game and have my players like level up the game world. I like the idea of it. I'm not sure that I actually know how to do it properly, but I at least like the idea. All right, hang on. Let's see. Okay, so you spend gold. Okay, you spend gold to have this NPC train the character, making them stronger, more flexible, and teach them how to wield a great sword. That is exactly what I want to do, is have them develop the world in such a way. For example, like let's say they hear about a blacksmith that's been captured, used to be in the fort or something like that. If they go rescue that blacksmith, they bring that blacksmith home, that blacksmith will teach them how to make like a better pistol or something, whatever. Like they will earn something from the blacksmith. And maybe I could start doing that by creating little seeds, or I don't want to say side quests, but like missions for them to go on to try and develop their base, their fort, their something. My players really love the idea of building up that boat in Wildsea. I mean, let me get it. My son loved this idea so much. You know, he spent time and energy doing this thing. Like this, you know, like, he wasn't playing video games. He was building a giant boat crawler thing, and he really enjoyed doing this. I would love to use this still, and that's why I'm like, maybe there's some sort of like sci-fi technology in this world. I could easily put in some kind of like, you know, the enemies in this land have a crawler and they run around, and my players could hear about it. They could try and take it over and make it their thing. And then, hey, we've got the Wildsea boat back in our Shadowdark campaign. I think world building is something I want to focus on in this one, and world building to the point where I want to give them like a base and the ability to build up stuff. All right, let me try and stick with it again. I'm really bad at this. Let's see. All right, it's been gold. Okay, Victoria's left the chat. Okay. How about magic crystals that store spells or enhance spells as a focus? Okay, so that's someone, it was Indenture Code mentioned to me yesterday the idea of players discovering a soul crystal, and like maybe when they get a kill or something, they recognize it captured energy and it glows or something. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. I didn't hear how his idea worked fully, but the idea of like crystals that store magic and stuff is interesting. Let me start writing some of these things down so I can, actually here, I took the time to open up notes and click over here. All right, so let me get my mouse back and give myself a full page. Nope, I said a full page. Does this thing not do full page? All right, whatever. Here, we'll just blow it up or something. Are you gonna let me blow you up? Come on. All right. Okay, so Shadowdark campaign. I'm going to write number 2. All right, ideas, general. Let's just go with general ideas. Story ideas, and this is loose story ideas, character ideas, I'm gonna put under here setting. All right, that should be enough for the moment until I start fleshing these out a little bit. Nope. Okay. Okay. Magic crystals that store spells or enhance things. I'm going to put that down into a setting idea. And I'm going to put down, let's see, crystals that store energy or spells. All right. Let's see, pancakes, magic cricket. Okay. Are your players aware of the core idea of these unicorn people? So, my players are a little bit aware of this. This, again, to mention it, this was a short story written by C.S. Lewis that like fascinated me. Like I was enmeshed in this thing because it's a story that's incomplete, and it's like it was part of a manuscript that he had. It was supposed to be like 400 pages, but like someone threw it into the fire, and I think only 120 pages were left. When I listened to this story, I was like, I need to know the rest of it, right? Like it was fascinating. It was such an interesting idea. But I incorporated some ideas from it into our D&D campaign, and I just did it terribly. So my players were fascinated by the idea of these unicorn people that sting you with their horn and basically turn you into a drone. Like they thought that was compelling. I was interested in it as well, but I think I would like to play in a world that's kind of exclusively this idea. So they'll be discovering this new world, you know, basically coming from the beach where there's like a beach fort. And as they venture out into the world, eventually they'll find out about the resistance force and then like the unicorn people. And so it, like at first, I think all I want to give them is you're trying to take over a fort, right? You're trying to retake His Majesty's fort in this new world, right? So they're coming into the new world, and then eventually they might discover like some of the strange culture here with the unicorn people. They might discover other things, but yeah, at the moment they would only really know retake fort. All right, let's see. Hello, landlubber. How's it going? Salty Nick, nice to have you here. Let's see, import pancakes. Knave 2 is awesome. Import pancakes. I'm assuming by import pancakes Knave you mean just like take stuff from Knave, and I think that's I don't mind doing that at all. Austin says, how many individuals does it take to make a collective? That's a good question. Interesting. All right, so you know what? I'm going to go ahead and add in theme here. Theme, and go with individualism, or a question. What is individualism? What is collectivism? With a question mark. And I will flesh those out a bit more. All right, let's see. Fight the man. Okay, maybe orcs are universal mercenaries, the paid shock troopers of the intervening nation that have gone ahead of the next wave of specialists, the PCs. Interesting. Universal mercenaries. Okay, so I thought about having the orcs be like an outside influence, and the reason I thought, okay, orcs could basically be like a secondary conflict enemy. Like here's the unicorn man's forces that might be like the main opposition, but at first my players aren't really going to even be engaging with it. They're going to be engaging with the orcs, and I don't really want to have the orcs be friendly, but at the same time they might, like the orcs might also be opposed to this unicorn power here in the land, right? Because it's kind of expanding. It is, you know, whatever, colonizing the orc space. So the orcs might consider my PCs a mutual enemy or a mutual friend, but at the same time, my thought was the unicorn man doesn't have the ability to inject, like doesn't know how to take over an orc. Like an orc is an integer that the unicorn man cannot overpower with just, you know, submission. So they might be at odds with each other, but they also might be ignoring each other. I like the idea of them being like a mercenary group, like you could bribe them. Okay, so let me general idea. Let me see. Setting idea. All right, orcs. Orcs. What would I call that? Orcs are not a passive group. Orcs are maybe a mercenary group. Mercenary group, faction. Okay. Now this one's bothering me. There we go. All right. Let me try and catch up. All right, let's see. Hello, Nick. Hello, greetings. Brett Boyd, how's it going? Let's see. John says, drive-through has tons of free supplements for Shadowdark, including for magic items and new things. Thank you so much for the suggestion. Do you have any, ooh, yeah, I know links are a hard thing. John, if you're in the Discord, if you're actually, no, you've messaged me on Discord. John, can you send me a message to one or two of those? If you've seen one that works well, just shoot that over to me, because I mean, I can write it here, but I have like a ton of these notes and I often just forget to go back to these or something. So if you've seen any, if you could just message me on Discord, that would be awesome. Let's see. Frontman saying hello to the Knicks. All right, a piece of advice from Salty Nick for writers is to open a question and answer it without the first, or maybe within the first few pages. This gives the reader confidence that you will close all the questions by the end. Interesting. Okay, so a piece of advice for writers to open a question and answer it in the first few pages. This gives the reader confidence that you will close all the questions by the end. So, okay, so don't do the J.J. Abrams Lost thing. You know, that makes sense, right? Like, ask a question that is answered instead of asking a question that 10 more questions are spawned out of. So, and I think that's right. And I think that's the idea I got when I was talking with Indenture Code yesterday. Because sometimes I'll write a story idea and I don't have the answer for the thing. And since I don't have the answer, like I'm kind of making it up as I go at that point. That's like the J.J. Abrams Lost writing. And after I talked with Indenture Code, I was like, oh, the thing that helped him, I think, to kind of figure out how his world works is that he answered all the questions that he brought up in his own mind. So that's good. Let me put that in. Answer all my own questions. I may not be able to answer the questions about individualism or collectivism because that's kind of that's a heady topic, but at least with regards to the campaign, answer all the questions I ask. Answer all the questions I ask. I'm going to put that in parentheses because it's not. All right. Let's see. For TTRPG, finish a small mission. Okay, so finish a small mission in session 1. Plan for a larger mission that takes 5 sessions, as you said. Interesting. Okay, so let me add that to it as well. Sessions. First session. First session completes first mission, I guess. Let's see. In the first session, one mission. I'm going to go with mission and put that in quotes. In the first session, okay. But then also open up more missions. I got it. Here I go. Okay, first session. Complete one mission. Okay. First session, more mission ideas, open more mission opportunities, open more.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Dang, that's a nice boat. Yeah, I like the boat a lot. It's cool, and I mean I could easily put it into. Thank you, Nick. I could easily put it into a like a land vehicle. Maybe it's like a siege machine, some kind of enemy vehicle they can hear about and go like, boom, we could take that. Right? That's, I mean, I don't know exactly when that would be a mission for, but it could just be on the docket of things that they could do in the world. Let's see. Time to get him on Obsidian for note taking, especially if it's for games. If you have better suggestions, okay, what is Obsidian? I mean, I just use notes because this is what I use to make videos with when I come up with an idea. It's because it's easy. I can use it on my phone and just type up a note real quick. Yeah, what is Obsidian? Let's see. Oh man, as much as I love Obsidian, that is an undertaking. Well, that is an undertaking for a new user. With how much the veterans customize the hell out of it. So it sounds like Obsidian is some sort of modifiable note-taking thing for TTRPGs. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would like to learn that, but I'm also still trying to learn Discord and YouTube. All right, let's see. John says there's more than enough really easy to follow YouTube videos on it nowadays to not make it as bad as it was 5 years ago. Okay. So give your characters their main goal. Secure the fort. What do you mean by D4? Secure the D4 southern fort. Okay, like a location. Oh, I see, like D4 on the map or something, okay? Main goal of the characters now. Any short or personal goals they give themselves. Okay, that's interesting. So yeah, I mean, like, for example, my son might have a goal. And here I thought maybe each of the players in this campaign knows people in this fort. You know, like maybe they have family there. Maybe not each of them, but maybe like a couple of them. You know, for example, my son could be going to try and rescue his dwarven friend or something, right? And they're in the fort right now. So each of my players could know someone here, or they could want something here or something. Maybe they have a reason why they're on this mission. I haven't exactly figured that out yet. It could just be that they're like military, or they're adventurers, or they're, you know, patriots to whatever the homeland is or something. But maybe they want something there specifically. So, hold on. Let's see, give the players their main goal. Okay, so, all right, let's put this down here. General ideas. Give players one main goal that they can complete in the first session. And then more player goals. Let's see. Where was that? See. There we go. Okay, so main goal of all the characters now. Okay, any short or personal goals they can give themselves. Okay, allow players to give themselves personal goals. So I liked this idea that WildC used with the drives and mires, and that's something I might lean into in the future with games. Indentured Code was telling me about the thing that WildC uses called unsetting questions. I didn't understand what it was when I read the book, and even after reading the book more, I still didn't understand it. It kept referring back to it, but I didn't get it. After talking with Indent Your Code for a little while, I was like, oh, okay, so this is a way of allowing your players to create something in the world, like in the setting. And it's like a question where you go like, I think the example that Indent Your Code gave me was, what magic spell is in the mobile library, right? And the player goes, oh, it's teleport, right? And so boom, the player has just created a thing in the mobile library. And I'm like, that's a baller idea, right? Because that, like, your players, anyways, so is that what you mean? Austin, is that what you mean by allow my players to give themselves personal goals? Like I'm asking them an unsetting question, and then I'm producing the thing that they have. You know what I mean? Like allow them to spawn things in the world with these personal goals. Like if my player has a personal goal to say like find their find their ranger trainer who's here lost on the island or something. I go, oh, cool. And then I write in a character that now works with the resistance somewhere that they can run into, and they go, hey, you're here. You've come to rescue me or something, right? Like, anyways, let me know what you mean by that a bit more. Let me catch back up. Let's see. All right, players leave the fort area. Wow, it's really going now. Nope. I just lost track. Okay, it's not too far. All right, got it. Main goal. All right, I'll have some pancakes too, please, Gary. If you could get on making us some pancakes, that would be great. John says, love C.S. Lewis. He really knew how to write. I agree. I love his books. Let's see. You could combine the crystal idea with the ship and have them as either as a power source or simply as mechanisms that manipulate the magic of the boat for speed, elevation, defense. That's an interesting idea, because then they could go and collect these crystals. It's a little bit video gamey, but I still like the idea of finding some sort of power up or ability in the world. And so then they like for example, maybe there's like sites of power, like if you play The Witcher 3, like little places where you find a word in the world or something. So I like that idea for giving them a clear, focused reason to search for something. And then once they find the first one, maybe the first one has a map of other locations, and then they go, oh, now we know we want to go find more of these power crystals. So let me see. What would I put that under? First session general ideas, setting ideas. All right, so crystals that store energy and spells. I'm going to say, can I make a double? All right, let me put a tab in there. Let's see, enter, and then there we go. Okay. All right. Crystals. That's not what I wanted that to look like. Go back. There we go. Crystals. Act as upgradable materials. Upgradable materials, and something else. Like crystals act as upgradable materials, maybe to their fort and mobile ship. Here, I'm gonna go back to the general ideas, and I'm going to put in here, give players access to a base. Now it got the tabbing properly. Give players access to I'm gonna call it a fort. And then I'm gonna go down here. Eventually, players access to I'm gonna call it a mobile fort. Mobile fort or ship. Maybe, yeah, I don't know, maybe both, but okay. And then crystals are crystals act as upgradable materials. Crystals can upgrade fort and mobile fort. Okay. And I might not have it so on the nose as like, you're hunting down, like people trying to hunt down the packages in a Grand Theft Auto game. I don't want them to be doing it for the sake of completing it, but I do want it to be like maybe they hear about some kind of crystal that could do a certain specific thing, and then they go look for that one or something. As opposed to then just going, look, we got all 100 of the dumb hidden crystals. Like, that's not fun. Trying to solve a specific goal with the crystals would be cool. At least I think, and you can tell me your thoughts on this. Let me go back to trying to catch up again. Let's see. You could combine the crystals idea with the ship. Okay, no, we already read that one. Okay, right. Different speed, elevation, defense. Right, and that's actually what you were, yeah, I guess that's what you were saying. Like, specific ones, let's see. For specific reasons. All right. Let's see. John says the thing always comes down to the thing always comes down to is the grand scheme of collectivism or individualism. Oh, is it worth it for the players? Interesting. Okay, maybe you can push heavy on the propaganda and the collective in that way, which I think is the idea I'm going for. Like, I mean, one of the thoughts I have is my players could have friends or NPCs that they know in the world that at some point, you know, get overtaken by the unicorn forces. And so what makes it worse is at some point my players are dealing with, like, that's my brother, sister, son, whatever. I don't want to kill them. That is an NPC I don't want to kill. You know, it's more than zombie apocalypse, because zombie apocalypse, like, all right, there's no cure to this, but maybe there is a cure to this. It's just hard to come by, and it's like a very limited resource. I thought about there being like a flower that maybe grows on the island, like a very unique type of herb or something that grows on the island, and you have to look for it in some way. And the reason I thought of maybe an herb or a flower on the island is because plastic in our world actually creates I think it's a microbe or a bacteria that eats plastic. And like if you go to like landfills in some areas, there'll be like a microbe that eats plastic and digests it. And you know, I was like, oh, cool. Like, so nature sometimes figures out a way to deal with an overwhelming thing, you know? So here's this overwhelming thing of this, you know, unicorn man and his poison upon the environment. And so this flower starts growing naturally in the world that counteracts the venom from his horn. In fact, I'm going to write that down. Setting ideas. You have to forgive me. I have like an eyelash or an eyebrow that I'm seeing. Maybe it's my hat. It might be my stupid hat. I keep thinking there's like something in my eye. So my dogs get a hold of my hat sometimes and they just destroy it. Barkley, come here. I thought about you and now I want you to come here. Come. All right, let me go with down here, orcs. Okay, so the setting idea that we just said. Okay, an herb, a rare herb. I actually have to write the general idea for this world, but now I'm talking about this one. A rare herb is able to counteract the unicorn. I'm gonna call it venom. Let's see, setting ideas over here. All right. The main villain is a unicorn man who poisons people with his horn. And I'm going to say mind control. Horn, they become zombies. I'm going to say intelligent zombies. Okay. All right. Let's see. Something about individualism. Okay, so individualism is evil. Let's see. Okay. The thing always comes down to the grand scheme of collectivism versus individualism. Okay, it's worth it for the players, right? Maybe you can push heavy on the propaganda aspect. So, yeah, that is actually something I could play into to some degree. I just don't know how to manifest it in an idea. But you're right, I could have it be that the players actually have to see collectivism as evil, but maybe they have the chance of using collectivism for their advantage. And there they have to question things. Although I think I often lean a little bit too heavy in the meandering morality. Like I tend to ask vague moral questions that my players, you know, like that trolley thing. Do you kill one person or 5 people? And maybe I want to be a little more simplistic with my moral ideas and just go with like, this thing is bad because it's like the unicorn man is bad because he's basically like a slave and a human sacrifice person. So like he represents human sacrifice and slavery at the same time. Let's just like, I don't want to get into any moral ambiguity with that. And like, I don't want to even like explore his motives or like who he was or what kind of bad childhood he had to make him that. I'm just going to go with like, he's black and white evil. And maybe I'll do some moral relativism in the background areas, but I think for me, I like, so that I don't get vague or wishy-washy and have it be that my players try and negotiate with this thing, I'm just going to go slavery and human sacrifice. It's clear, right? And then the orcs and other factions, like maybe there's some moral relativism I can put in there. All right, let's see. So maybe the orcs, okay, maybe the orcs were the original regional power. Okay, I think that's a great idea. Let's see, orcs. Mercenary faction. I'll put a tab there, go back. Okay, orcs are the, nope, the original regional, I'm doing this terribly right now, regional power. I think that's an interesting idea too, because I could have there be like something of orcish magic or maybe like ritual sites scattered throughout the map. And so there could be some ways, like let's say the orcs are a faction that they can actually negotiate with. Perhaps doing a certain thing in the world with these ritual sites might increase their favor or increase their ability to trade or something like that. So I'm just going to put orcish landmarks. Throughout the region. Okay. Let's see. Mystery boxes are bad. That just popped off to me, Michael. I agree. Mystery boxes are bad. And I think I do tend to write in that J.J. Abrams type of way. I need to work harder on answering my own questions before I ask more of them. Let's see. John says, you should hope your players pick the nuanced path showing the ability to combine with unlikely force. Hold on. You should hope your players pick the nuanced path showing the ability to combine with unlikely forces to overcome things while still being an individual. Right, that's a good idea. I agree. Like combine with this other group. Right, and I could probably subtly play for that by having the orcs be their own type of evil. And maybe my players have to go, you know what? We actually are okay with eradicating the orcs. Like they're doing their own weird evil thing. Yeah, I like that idea. So let me flesh that out by saying multiple evil factions in the region. Let's see. Possibly multiple evil factions in the region. And up here, I'm going to make this one, dang it. It just does it sometimes. It doesn't do it other times. Stop it. I gotta keep spacing. What is this? Okay, double space. All right, I hate you. Hang on, I can do it if I go back here. Let's see, hue. I'll just compromise for the moment. Okay, multiple evil factions in the region. Now that I was messing with the stupid bullet, I forgot what I was about to write. Okay, I think it had something to do with multiple evil factions in the region. I already wrote that somewhere. There we go, possible multiple evil factions. Okay. The evil factions are going to be clear. I don't want to say evil factions clear. Okay. Less. This is going to be a general idea, actually. Okay. General idea. No, it's going to be a theme idea. Less vague. How do you spell vague? V-E-G-U-E? That doesn't look right. V-A-G-U-E? That looks right. Okay. Less vague. Good versus evil. Evil ideas. Clear lines between good and evil. Okay, but see, nuanced. Not even sure how to finish that idea, but I understand what you're saying. Like, my players might have to pick between different types of evil or something. I'll leave that until I know how to finish that sentence. Okay. Let's see. Mystery boxes are bad. Totally check out stakes from those adventure fronts. Hang on. Stakes. Oh, are you talking about from Wild Sea Indenture Code? Yeah, I know I'm way behind, by the way. I know this is like a comment from like 5 or 10 minutes ago, so I'm gonna try and catch up. Answer questions about your world, but leave event-based questions up to the characters in a play to find out way. Okay, so hold on. answer questions about my world. So I'm going to answer the question about my world, but leave event-based questions. What do you mean by event-based questions? And let me see if I understand that correct. Like, my players do a thing, and then how the world responds. Like, okay, let's say there's a mobile fort running through the world doing things. My players go take over the mobile fort, and then there's a response to it. Like the question, what will the bad guys do when they lose a mobile fort? Allow my players to kind of answer that question, or if you can flesh that out. So let me see. And how would I summarize that? Leave event-based questions up to the characters in a play and find out way. I like that. See, how proactive are your players? At this point, the way I personally play is more building out difference. At this point, the way I personally play is more building out different groups with competing interests and make sure the PCs have their own agendas. See how proactive. So my players are pretty proactive. If they see some injustice in the world, they're going to come up against it. Let's see. I personally play is more building out different groups. And so if you mean different groups, do you mean like different factions in the world, like playing those out so they have their own, right, with competing interests and make sure the PCs have their own agendas? Okay, I like that. Right, so I can have like the elves in the world and they want a thing, and the orcs and the dwarves, so like all the different groups, and they're not just elves, not just the race groups, but like some faction or group that wants a thing and they're doing a thing. And that's something I'll have to come up with. I'll have to come up with like multiple different factions. Maybe there's like 2 different resistant forces. Maybe they have their own like ideas about how to resist this main group. And so my players could choose one to side with. That's fun. That's fun. Let me put that in setting ideas, or yeah, not general. Nope, that's general. Okay, so setting ideas. So multiple factions. Hold on, this doesn't go here. There we go. I'm going to put this after this thing here. Multiple evil factions. I'm going to put that with a capital E and a capital F, so it draws my attention to it in the region. Okay. I'm going to say multiple. I'm going to call them good factions in the world with different ideas, differing ideas about how to defeat evil. Okay, and that will help me fuel out like the blacksmith guild or whatever. Like they want to do this thing and this person wants to do this thing, and so they're splitting the resources, and maybe my players can come in and help those factions to become more united in some way. Which, yeah, okay. Let's see. Am I still way behind? I am still way behind. Okay, just give them, let's see, just give them an enemy map of the island with locations and barracks, cities, research facilities. Interesting. So they discover a map. Okay, I'm gonna put this in general. Allow my players to discover, give players, I'm gonna say a vague map, now that I know how to spell vague. Give players a vague map. I don't want them to have the full world mapped out, but maybe like they'll have a few locations, like big rock that looks like a head, and then there's like a thing near big rock that looks like a head. Because I kind of want them to do a hex crawl where they discover the world. Like I want this to be sort of a foreign territory. Anyways, okay, so give players vague, I'm gonna say enemy maps. Maybe they even have to learn I don't want them to learn too much of a codec or something, but all right, give players vague enemy map with, and you wrote down settlements, barracks, cities, and research facilities. That's a good idea, with barracks, cities, and research facilities. Good idea. I like that. And okay, I'm not going to go off on a tangent, but I like that. That reminds me of something else, but thank you. Okay, so if you're planning on a sandbox where your players set goals, then determine where they want to go, then it is up to them where they go from session to session. That's true. And so that means I kind of need to know all the stuff going on in the world. And I understand that I'm going to have to keep track of things, but I want to front load my preparation work so that I understand the world. Like, okay, Gary, when I'm talking to you about your world, one of the things I recognize is that I can ask you a question about what's going on, and even if I don't remember as a player, you generally have an answer about what's going on in that place and why those people are doing it. I even noticed it when I pointed out like something about the lizard men in your world, and you went, oh, no, that's not how they work, and you instantly knew what's going on in your world. That was the thing, is like, I think playing a little bit with Gary is probably what gave me the idea that I want to create my own world instead of do like the Muggle-blub thing. Because like I can read the Muggle-blub and I can like read it and like familiarize myself, but it's like I don't understand these characters that well. They're not mine. I mean, I can probably play them. I can probably run Muggle-blub, and my players can be going down into the Bittermold, like the Bittermold Manor, and like deal with the different factions of the Bittermold family, and I can probably play them out, and I can probably play out the fish people. But I think I'd probably rather make my own world that makes sense to me, especially for something that might go on for a year or so, since I'm trying not to keep jumping systems and settings. So that was way back there, playing a sandbox. Okay, yeah, I agree, and I think that's the thing I'm trying to do, is like let them step foot onto the world, let them get a sense that it's bigger, and then session 2 they just go, let's go check out the beach, let's go to those caves, let's go to the inroad. I want to go to the, whatever, this base that we heard about. I want to go kill the rest of the orcs, okay, cool. And then they could start doing that. All right, I'm way behind now. Okay, so you avoid the sandbox at first. Nick, I totally agree. I don't want to make the sandbox, I don't want to put my players in the sandbox. I want to put them at a base that is under, like that is taken over, and they got to reclaim a base. So their first thing is a dungeon, which is base taken over by orcs, and there'll be like a few levels to it. I don't know exactly if it's like an above ground or a below ground, or if it's a secret base, but it's some kind of fort that their nation owns, and they want it back, right? Anyways, if you mean, hold on, let me see what else you wrote here. Easier to master the skills of GMing for adventures that way. Okay, so Nick, tell me if I'm on the right track there. Like if I start them and all I have is like fort, like beach and fort, and they can like choose how they approach this fort. Like I'm not gonna lock them in the front door. I kind of want a fort more than a dungeon, because like a dungeon is a closed in thing where it's like you go a linear path or maybe a multi-linear path or something. But I want them, like I want their first thing to be fort, and they can approach it and they can try and take it back as best they have, and they're gonna have like, a boat. That's not like gonna be like not gonna be like an armada ship with cannons or something. Like I don't want them just to decimate the fort. So I'm gonna give them a sneaky, like it's a yacht, a bigger than a dinghy. Whoever knows nautical stuff, that's the kind of boat. I'm looking for a yacht. All right, okay. Yes, unfortunately, no, okay, here we go. I personally love sandbox games. Black Lodge Games has a good overview of the philosophy in their RPGs. Okay, in their RPGs are soap operas videos. Hang on. In their RPGs are soap operas video. What does that mean? Black Lodge Games. Michael Benson, if you're in the Discord with us, send me a link to Black Lodge Games. Is that a YouTube channel? Or is that like a blog or something? Because I'd be interested in looking it up. Indenture Code gave me a video yesterday on random encounters and like why to use them, and I learned a lot. It was very helpful. Let's see. Yes, unfortunately, in the beginning, you should railroad your PCs, even if it's only softly doing it. It's helpful. Okay, and that's yes to Nick. I agree, and that's why I'm going fort. Your mission is take the fort. If you take the fort, you win. You guys can quit. If you want to. All right, let's see. John Walker, let's see, hold on. I love Sandbox 2, but I've noticed a lot of people can't deal with that much freedom. Oh, no, hang on, I missed one. Jeff Hamler says, hey, just wanted to give you a heads up that the Discord link in your channel description may be expired. Oh, my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay, hang on, let me try and fix that right now. I didn't know that they have... I don't know about Discord. I'm so ignorant to Discord. Let's see, YouTube... let's go over here. Okay, Google account, YouTube Studios. All right, I need to go to the About section. Yeah, because I definitely want you guys to be able to get to the Discord, because at the moment it's the easiest way to get links, because YouTube is so bad about the links. It's been really frustrating for me. Like I've seen comments that were in a video and then went back to try and make a video, like reading through comments, and there were comments missing. Like that's frustrating. It's like and that must be frustrating for you guys. Like if you know you're trying to send me some clear information and YouTube won't let us get to it, all right, let me pay attention to what I'm trying to do right now, because I'm trying to get to the about section. Content analytics, comments, subtitles. No, it's not in. It's not in the settings. It's on the general area. I want to go to actually my channel. There we go. It's gonna start playing the video. I pause the video. Oh no! Oh, this is me live. I almost clicked on watching me live. That's not where I want. I want to go to manage videos, customize channel. All right, and then I want to go to the. Let's see. What is it at? What's it at? Description, language, site. There we go. Discord server. Okay, so let me trash that. Let me add a link. I'm going to go Discord and open Discord. All right. Okay, if you guys know. Okay, so hold on. I'll try to find my way into Discord. Okay, so yeah, it's anxiety-free games Discord. Let me see if there is a way to get. So in here, hold on, let's see. Invite people, server settings. Maybe this is what I need to do. Server settings. An image. See inactive channel. No. Systems messages. Okay. Sorry, I didn't even make this video about Discord, but I do want you guys to be able to get over here. All right, I'm just gonna copy. I'm just gonna do a new copy, and then I'll mess with it more later on. So let me get a fresh invite. Not invite people. Invite people, copy, there we go. Or send a server invite to a friend. So you might be right. Maybe this is, edit the invite link here, okay. Oh, here we go, it expires in 7 days. You're right. All right, so, okay. No limit, hold on. Expire after never, maximum number of uses, no limit. Okay, generate a new link. All right, thank you very much for letting me know. Okay, I copied that. Let's go back over here. Nope, wrong one. Let's go over here. Control V, publish. All right, check that. Let me know if that works. Close that. Okay, back to our notes. Okay. Yeah, let me know if that works, because if you have like a link to a video, for example, if like Black Lodge Games is a with thing like I can watch a YouTube video, I'd appreciate that. I put them on during my car when I'm driving or something, or make figures and stuff. Okay. All right, let's see. Love Sandbox. Okay, their goals will generate. Okay, so yes, their goals. Oh, hang on. I love Sandbox too, but I've noticed a lot of people can't deal with that much freedom. All right, then I got the Jeff Handlers. Okay, glad to be able to catch you go live. Okay, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. And thank you for letting me know that the Discord link was expired. I feel silly telling people, hey, go click on this. Just go to the About section. What's wrong with you? Sorry, thank you. Let's see, Austin. Yes, their goals will generate people, places, and things. Tell me more about that. I'm scanning down here. Okay, yeah, so I don't see any more from you. I see one or two. Tell me more what you mean about that. And I'm going to put that in the general sense, general ideas. Allow, and give me some more thoughts on how that works so that I can make that manifest in gameplay. I don't quite know how to do what you're saying, but I would like to. Allow my players, hold on. I'm going to write down exactly what you said. Their goals will generate people. See, let players' goals, there we go. Okay, allow players' goals, nope, to generate, nope, wrong one. People, I don't need that there. Generate, P-O-P-L-E, places and things. That's, see, because, like, okay, off the bat, that goes, ooh, it might be hard for me to create proper NPCs that way if I'm like making stuff up on the fly, but at the same time, I don't want to not make stuff up on the fly. So like, is there a way to do that where you set yourself some parameters where you can still have clearly defined, for example, if my players are interested in finding a forge or something, obviously I can go, there's a forge in this barracks, but like you mean something more specific, and I want to know what that is. People, places, and things, okay, in the world. Okay. All right, let me keep going down here. See, regarding crystals, nope, I'm not there yet. Okay, the differences between giving goals and them choosing goals is night and day. I totally agree with you, and I need to learn what that difference is. Okay, so, all right, let's see. Between giving goals and choosing goals. The difference between giving goals and them choosing goals. Yeah, I definitely want them to be able to choose their goals. And so I think that's why I want to just give them a fort, and then they can go like, we're not really interested in exploring this world or something, right? So I kind of need to have my players create their characters in such a way that there is something they're interested in this world beyond just taking the fort. Like, maybe they are trying to save their grandma or something, and their grandma's been taken by the resistance, or the orcs have their family or something, whatever. So, let me know what you think about that. All right, let's see. TSL Frontman says, honestly, just asking a player to make up an answer for something off the cuff can be pretty fun and liberating for everyone. Use this with deliberately vague world building statements. That is to say, instead of, then the prince moved to the woods and lived happily ever after, conclusive, say, the prince left the kingdom after the secret rebellion and hasn't been seen since. Interesting. Okay, that's cool. Okay, well done. Let's see. Uncertainty makes for storytelling and creativity. Established facts make for a lore dump. No, that's really good, and I'm trying to okay. I don't even know how to summarize that in a way that can hold on. See, okay. Ask players to make up an answer for something off the cuff. So let's see. I'm going to put this in my general ideas. Allow players to answer world-building questions. Allow players to answer world-building questions. Nope. World-building questions. I just realized that this thing doesn't prompt me when I misspelled something. There's probably a bunch of misspelled stuff. Allow players to answer world-building questions about vague statements. About vague inquiries, I guess. Okay, that might summarize it. If you have a better way to phrase that in this kind of bullet point thing, let me know. Let's see, Michael Besson, regarding, crystals maybe limit to only X number at a time, and unequipping them has a chance to destroy them. Interesting, hold on. Regarding the crystals, maybe limit to only X number at a time. Oh, so you create a way for the crystals to modularly adapt something or something. So, for example, they could put them in the vehicle to give it additional speed, and then if they decide to change the configuration there, okay, so what would that be? That would be like a setting ideas. Okay, crystals. All right, let's go back to here. I don't want to say limited use. Crystals are fragile. Which helps, fragile. Let's see, let's put that in parentheses. Removing them from technology, she can destroy them. Okay. Another thought, crystals, let's put this one actually up above. Crystals act as upgraded materials. Crystals can upgrade fort and mobile fortress for specific reasons. What would that be like? Crystals have modular, crystals give focused, I'm just gonna say modular and limited. Not limited in usage, but finite. No, what's the word? So slottable, modular and slottable abilities. Modular and slottable abilities, but yeah, I'll leave that be. I think that gives me enough of an idea to use it properly. Let's see. Cool idea. See, the novel finished yet? Okay, no. See, Unicorn Man is bad because he is Borg. I agree, right? But what's the initial adventure? The initial adventure is we want our fort back. You're right. It needs a little bit of I think it needs player connectivity to it. I mean, I could just have it be that the players are defending the fort. I'm not sure if that's as interesting though. I think because if the players are defending the fort, they kind of already know about the island and so on and so forth. Like, I mean, I could have it be players are defending the fort and I just kill off their first characters. But I kind of like the idea of them showing up there to this mystery and they're exploring this fort and it's dark and they're trying to figure out if there are any survivors, and then orcs jump out at them and they're being killed in the in the hallways. But yeah, so I don't know. You got any ideas? So Nick, if you have any ideas about how to tie them to the initial adventure aside from making them just soldiers that need to go retake the fort, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Chevron says, I do think there need to be some neutral, potentially friendly factions too, in order for the PCs to build positive relationships, not just rivals. Yeah, I have that, and I'm gonna flesh that out somewhat. I don't want to just divide it up amongst like race, so like there's the dwarves and the elves and whatever, but I want to do something kind of like what you had, Chevron, where you made like the free peoples and the empire, or the way you had it was you had like factions. And so in this case, maybe I'll have something like general factions, like there are the free peoples or something, but they're divided amongst different ideas or perhaps even ideologies, like ways that they see the world resolving itself. Like this group wants to beat the bad guys this way, and this group thinks that way is the wrong way to beat the bad guys, and so they're divided, and maybe my players can come in. But multiple good factions I do have. Let me see where I have it written down. Let's see, setting. There we go. Multiple good factions of the world with different ideas about how to defeat evil. If you have some more specific ideas, let me know. Could the fort be the ship? Interesting. Could the fort be the ship? Perhaps half buried in the breach, and then after the characters take control, they figure out it's a flying ship. Keep it very low altitude. Okay. Cool middle base operations. Interesting. Okay, so... Or maybe it's like a flying ship that doesn't work, and for it to become a flying ship again, they need to get there. You know what? Okay. So they're going to retake like sure, it's like some sort of vessel or something. They're trying to retake some vessel, and maybe it's beached. All right. So let's see. Setting ideas. Okay. Possibly. Okay. So Crystal's going to be setting some of the orcs. Okay. So players. All right. Players need to retake a fort. And then let's add a second one. The fort is either mobile or stationary. The fort is either a ship or airship. Yeah, I don't think I like the idea of a land vehicle that much, because the land vehicle, what's the problem with the land vehicle? The land vehicle means I have to like have roads for it, or it has to be able to be like if I make the land vehicle too good, it's like a tank that runs over trees and stuff, and then it's like it's powerful, and I don't want to give them something too powerful. But like a ship that could potentially become an airship is a cool idea, because I could just take away the airship ability at first, and they got to go like find the stuff that makes it an airship, and then they can decide if they want to go back home or something. I really do need to find some way to tether the players to the world. Like, obviously I could have it be that like main characters, family or friends are now in the employ of the Unicorn Man. Like they're basically Borg. I'm not sure if that's very interesting. If you guys have better ideas than my player's family have become Borg, I would like to hear that. The fort is either a ship or a I'm going to put it in parentheses, broken airship. Okay. Was that Michael who wrote that? Hang on, I'm way back again. Brett, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Indenture codes. Okay, stakes from Dungeon World. Oh, okay. It's in the link on Discord. Thank you so much. I appreciate you forwarding that over. Okay, so stakes from Dungeon World. That's okay. I'll actually, let's take a look at that right now. I'll see what you mean. Close that. Let's see, Lemmings. Where'd you post it? Oh, here. Okay. Let's go down here. Chat area. Nope. Let's see. Stop that. Where did you post it at, Indenture Code? Alex Shefford. Keep seeing this one. Wolfblood. Okay, let me respond to these. Okay. Add friend. All right. I'll get to the other messages here. I'm realizing like you sent messages and maybe you don't want them like just posted up on the thing. Okay, I'm going into all sorts of wrong Discords I don't mean to be going into. Let me go back into my Discord. Okay. Yeah, Ninja Code, let me know where you put that in Discord. I'll look at it, but okay, I'm gonna get back to this at the moment and maybe I'll look at it later. Stakes from Dungeon Worlds. Okay. All right, John, see, now I think the mobile fort should really be a hidden thing somewhere, okay? Maybe you learn about it. Ooh, oh, interesting, okay. That's a good, so maybe there's multiple bases here. There's their initial beach fort, but then there's the company's airship or something. Okay, that's okay, I like that too. I'm gonna add this into fort. Perhaps multiple bases / forts / airships. Multiple bases force. I'm gonna put airships in parentheses again. Spread throughout region. Okay. Let's see. There can be some. Okay, neutral areas got that. Okay, nah. Okay. See. Okay. Well, got to get back to dinner. Oh, back later. Okay. Thank you, Austin. Appreciate it. Have a good dinner. Let's see. See ya. Okay. Multiple maps that show different parts of the map, like a map that is about the secret cave system, and other maps with other info. Let's see. Multiple maps. Okay, I like the idea of multiple maps that show different parts of the map. So like different regions, maybe like a map of the mountains, a map of the beaches. Okay, that's cool. All right, so let's see. Let's go with the general in that, and let's go. Let's see. I was in maps somewhere over here. Didn't I have maps? Oh, this is about them personal goals. Okay, where did I already have some stuff about maps? All right, I'll have to combine them all eventually. I'm not seeing it. Okay. General setting. Here we go. Over. Those all look tabbed off from each other. They are. Okay. Multiple maps of different subregions, or of each different subregion. Dungeon. Okay, let's see. Gotta go back to dinner. Okay, multiple maps. Okay, a fun way to show factions getting stronger is for them to get more items, boons, and services. Ooh, cool! To offer to the players that match the results of recent quests the players completed. Wow, that's an awesome idea. Okay, also, hello, I'm back. I've been very sick the last 2 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What have you been sick from? And I assume you're back because you're feeling better? Awesome. Thank you for coming. Let's see. Yeah, let me know what you've been sick with and how you're feeling. I'm gonna add that here. Let's see. Faction development. Let me go back in here to my setting thing. Evil factions. Okay, multiple good factions. I'm going to tab into this one and say faction growth to show regional strength. Strength in region actually. Strength within the region. Faction growth based upon player choices, faction growth based upon player decisions. Okay, all right, let's see. Fort is a dungeon by a different name. Interesting. That's, yeah, okay, cool. That's also, so yeah, we could have, I could have multiple dungeons, and maybe as they take over dungeons, they can give factions in the area strongholds, and based on, so when they take over a dungeon, they then can basically make a different faction aware and give it to that faction. That faction grows stronger, and I could even make it so that different factions, depending on who they give the base to, for example, they find like a, I don't know, I'm just going to be token here. They find a mine, and they decide to give the mine to the dwarves. The dwarves do better with the mine. They give the mine to the elves do worse. Like, maybe there's different things that different factions are good at. So there could be like a machinist faction, and maybe a druid faction, and like based on what they give to the faction. Okay, so I'm gonna make, I need to start putting more spaces in here because this is all merging together for me now. So let's go like that, and then back that up. Okay, let's go like this. I hate this program. There we go. Multiple evil factions in the region. Let's put a tab on. Oh, let me finish the idea I'm thinking of already before I get myself distracted. Okay, so dungeons. Let's go to setting. Yeah, let's put this in setting. Let's make it be dungeons in the region, possibly faction, multiple good factions. Okay, crystals. All right, let's go over here and let's go dungeons. Someone woke up from their nap. I hear a bunch of clambering. Dungeons, forts. Hi, buddy. Did you get, hey. I don't have a pumpkin king. Do you have a pumpkin king? Hey. Hey, did you have a good nap?
Yes, I just.
Did he actually sleep? Okay, good. All right. All right. Dungeons, forts can be retaken. Be retaken and given to various factions. How would I put that? Faction growth based on fort type. Is that vague enough that I'm going to understand that? See, faction growth, factions will grow based on fort type, maybe region. And let's not call it region, let's call it land. Let's see. I know, Austin. Yeah, I'm very I just noticed, yes. I have I probably do have ADD. I don't know, and that might be what plays into my desire to jump systems. I'm not sure. But also, when I'm streaming, I have a very difficult time paying attention to doing a task and talking, because I just talk and I'll just keep going like I am right now, responding to the fact that I didn't take my ADD medication. Anyways,
forgive me for being disjointed and jumping around so much. Factions will grow based on fort type, and I'm just going to go with region. No, territory. No. Land type. I'm not sure if I like that, but I'll keep it for the moment so I can continue on. Multiple maps. Fun way, something, say fort or dungeon. Got it. Making a fort. Making the fort D-Day. Yeah, that's kind of my thought, is they're going to be showing up to the beach and trying to retake this thing, and depending on when they do it, they might be in a fight. All right, see, they still have linear pathways through them in the same manner as a dungeon. I guess, no, that's right, but they have multiple entry points, and then they have, you know, like I guess a dungeon, yes, they could drill through the ground and like find themselves in the 6th room or something. I feel like a fort is something where you can come to the 6th room by a little more reasonable means. See, Michael says, I'll try to find my way to the Discord. Okay. Make the link permanent. Got it. Yes, thank you. Maintain the thing. So mainly the thing I want to drive home, this is from Nick Campbell, mainly the thing I want to drive home is that you populate the adventure. You'll answer a lot of world building questions. Why are the orcs in this fort? If it was abandoned, why here now? And I guess my answer to that, well, would you mind feeding the cat? Yeah, okay, thank you. My thought was the orcs have taken over the fort because it was already taken. So like the fort's here, orcs didn't take the fort. The unicorn people discovered the fort, took it over, collected everyone, and they're just not really ready to expand into it, so they abandoned it. And maybe there's 1 or 2 survivors that were hiding, and then the orcs take it over. And so my players are basically coming to the fort at the time that the orcs have just taken over this emptied fort. And so there might be a survivor or 2 still like hiding, but maybe even not. Maybe I just leave like some signs that everyone has been killed or lost. Yeah, so at least that was narrative-wise the thought that I had. Like, they're in it because of opportunity. Let's see. This was trying to find... right, what other monsters are here? Good question. What secrets? What makes the fort valuable? Good questions. Let me put that into... see. The general ideas theme. Let me put that into general ideas. Let me actually put that into... let me make a separate section and just call it questions. Questions to answer. I'm going to ask a question, and I'm going to try and pay attention to be honest. Since Austin mentioned that, am I really distractible? Like in a frustrating way? I mean, just be honest with me. Like, just hurt my feelings as much as you need to be, because I will try and be a little more focused if it's like annoying. You know, like I don't want to be being annoying. And I'm not trying to be sensitive about it. I know that I tend to get distracted about things, but just let me know. It's probably not something I can fix. So, I don't know, but maybe I can. I'm open to hearing. All right, let's see. Questions to answer. The first one was back here from, I think that was from Salty Nick. Let's see. There was, okay, what other monsters are here? What secrets? What makes the fort valuable? Okay, so what other monsters are in this region? Good question. That's not how you spell region. Region. Question. Okay. Let's see. What are monsters in this region? Okay. What enemies? There's another one you had. Let's see. What are the secrets? What are the secrets? Okay, what makes these forts valuable? Good question. Valuable. What are the secrets? What are the secrets of this region? That's really helpful because I probably wouldn't have thought of asking that question specifically, the secrets of this region, that's a really helpful question to answer, because when I answer that question, I will have answered some of the driving motivations and factors of different factions, NPCs, characters, superpowers, all that stuff. So if I answer the question, what are the secrets in this region, I might even answer the question of why are these forts valuable? Maybe these forts aren't forts. Maybe these are like harvesting vehicles or something. Maybe these are mining vehicles. Maybe this is a company mission to go retake our resource managers. And maybe I go from this being like, this might turn into an aliens, world where it's like, hey, you guys work for the company. I don't know if that's as good of a motivation as like familial, but maybe working for the company, helps my players with their understanding of who they are in the world. I'm not sure. Or maybe it's not company, maybe it's like nation or nation state or something. Okay, so good question. Thank you, Nick. Going back down. No. I missed your question. There we go. Discord. Okay, so Discord work linked. Okay, making the fort. Okay, still have linear pathways. Okay, same as a dungeon. Got that. Try the Discord, make the link permanent. Got it. There we go. Nope. All right, I was caught up. Okay, maybe it sits on the crystal mine. Oh, okay. Magic crystals. Okay, so maybe this is a fort that harvests magic crystals. Right, okay, so let's go with what are the... I don't want to answer these yet, but I am going to put these in general. I'm going to put these in general ideas. Okay, so I'm going to put these in general ideas with right over here, multiple sessions. Okay, so all right, forts are mining vehicles. Right? Crystals are harvestable. Interesting. Okay. Crystals are valuable. I'm going to put that one over. Okay. All right. Back over there. And then this one is other nations want crystals. Okay. And maybe even the unicorn people don't care about the crystals. I'm not saying that's true, but like maybe they're like about them. Okay. Where were we? Satori something. Okay, players. Okay, Discord link worked. Okay. For player goal in my Goblin Shadowdark game, they accepted the goal of rebuilding the Adventure Guild. Okay, hold on. Accept the goal of rebuilding the Adventure Guild. Okay, now the Thieves Guild is involved, and is the Wizards Guild. Okay. Huh. How did you make it so that the Thieves Guild and the Wizard Guild are interacting with the Adventurers Guild? Or are the Thieves Guild and the Wizards Guild in, like, do they care about each other? Does the Thieves Guild ask the Wizards Guild for jobs? Does the Wizards Guild need the Thieves Guild sometimes? Do they work together, or are they all oppositional? And that is an interesting idea for world building. Let's see. Chevron says the sequel to Submissive and Breedable. So hold on. The sequel to Submissive and Breedable, Moddable, and Slottable. Okay. Submissive and Breedable, Modular, and Slottable. I get it. You're right. Because they did want a bunch of pets and stuff. And I'm also thinking about that too. I'm also considering that my players do want pets and they do want cutesy animals. And man, when they had that spider Croissant, and Croissant got hurt in the fight, oh man, my players were so fueled, like they were pumped to destroy things. So cute animal that is targetable is, I mean, it's a, that is power. I'm like, must have that power. All right, how's it going, AJ? I'm way behind. I know you posted that probably like 10 minutes ago. I'm really trying to catch up, but every time I read one of these comments, I get like 2 more ideas. It's a hydra of comments. Ingatama says, can confirm power of player creativity.
Some of my most popular NPCs are the ones where I gave very limited descriptions and my players asking questions and interacting them fleshed them out. Interesting. Okay. Crashed airship wrecked as a home base sounds super fun. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, and since I went, okay, my son was like, he wants Shadowdark, he wants super grim dark, he wants Alien. You know, we just watched Aliens the other day. Like, I think he's super pumped about the idea of an alien hunting all of the players, and he wants to play in some sort of, like, he was telling me he wanted to kind of play in the gloaming settings. He just wants to play in that blender where the giant axe man is cutting everyone in half. I don't know. And so he likes that idea. So I'm going to take some stuff about that and put it here. But he wants also his character to have like pistols. Initially, he said he wanted like pistols, like, you know, bang, 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 bang. And I'm thinking maybe more muskets or like gunpowder. But at the same time, if I'm going to start making classes of characters that are like pistoliers or something, which I might do, I think I want to limit them to specific races. So I might want to make it that the like dwarves or something. If you pick a dwarf, then you can be like a gunsmith or something. And as a gunsmith, you might be able to develop similar to a fighter and eventually have it be you can fire like multiple shots at the same time at the same target or something, you know? But you have to spend an action to reload. And he won't like that. But anyways, the airships idea kind of just came naturally. I was thinking fort/ship. But as we've been talking here, someone started mentioning airships, and I'm like, yeah, I like airships. You know, that's cool, but not a working one at first, right? I don't want them to just be able to like start jumping around the world too easy. So that kind of happened naturally, and I do like that idea. I think I'm on that more permanently. And someone else mentioned the crystals being like a modular thing, and now maybe the airships harvest the crystals. You know, yeah, this is. I'm liking how this is developing. This is great. I'm way behind. Let's see. Okay, connect the players to the fort by having a low power but well-known orcish foe there. Connect the players to the fort by having a low power but well-known orcish foe there. The orc could have slain a mentor or family member of the characters or the organization that sent the group. Okay, hang on. Let's see. Connect the players to the fort by having a low power. Okay, I got that part. The orc could have slain, so there's a personal vendetta on this orc, okay? Let's see, of the characters or an orc. So, all right, I like that. So tie the orcs in, so maybe the orcs are okay, so I'm gonna go with the idea so far that my players work for a company that makes these airships and wants these crystals. And maybe they're not like just being paid employees, like maybe they're company men, right? Like they actually believe in the company. They're investors or something. They actually believe in this project because, you know, it's developing things back on their world. And if they can't get more crystals, then like their world fails or something. So they want the crystals. And so the orcs are essentially like some regional disruptive group, and they've killed a boss or someone important. Okay, so I'm going to go back in these general ideas. Okay, personal goals, players access to a fort. Players are members. I don't like the word members. I don't like employees. I'll stick with members. Members of a company. A company. Tab in. The company makes the crystals. No, airships. Okay, airships airships mine crystals. Crystals are not a power source. Crystals are something, but crystals, let's say power the airships. Crystals are technology. I'm going to put technology in quotes. Or magical technology. How about that? I'm thinking like kind of like the League of Legends, what's it, Arcane, like the Hex Tech or something. Like maybe these are something where you can put it through some filtration process and it turns into something specific. Crystals are magical technology. Okay. All right, and I'll crystals mine. Okay, airships mine crystals. Company make airship. Got it. Okay, airships mine crystals. Crystals are technology. Company wants crystals and airships. Players, I'm gonna say quote around love the company. And the last one in this idea is players. This is the personal one. Player characters. Characters know. I'm gonna say lost companymen. And okay, really last thing here is no, it's a different idea. This is in the orcs area. Orcs are, I'm going to put this as a thing down here. Actually, other nations want crystals. Orcs are company enemy. I guess the company orcs are the, I'm going to put quotes around enemy of the company. And then orcs have taken or killed company men. Okay. I'm way behind. All right, let's see. Something like there's casters up there. Oh, okay. No, I'm not way behind. Hang on, I'm further down than I thought because I just saw the one about me taking my ADD medication again. I got triggered all over again. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be sensitive. I know I jump topics. All right, let's see. Goblin holes. Pumpkin. Oh, no, that's right. I am technically behind because that comment was a new old comment that I read earlier than I should have. Okay. Can confirm power of player creativity. Okay. Nope, further than that. Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll leave this little finger pointer where I'm at. Suggestions, ties of players. Now, current topic of taking stronghold sounds really cool. All right, now I actually have to scroll back. Suggestions for ties. Oh, there we go. Okay, would you no. You can lean into kick the dog instead of Borg. Crashed airship base. All right. Kind of click. All right, cool. There's Brett's comment. I got that back. Okay. You could lean into kick the dog instead of Borging a family member. Leave them a dog or a cat or a giant spider. That's terrible. That's terrible. Okay, but you know what I could do with that? That's not bad, actually. That's not bad. But they could rescue it like a Jean-Luc Picard thing. Oh, no. Remember Hugh, right? They could rescue it like a Hugh thing, and maybe the crystals can upgrade their dog or cat spider thing. I mean, that's probably way down the line, but that's an interesting idea. So, I'm going to put this in, where am I going to put this? I'm going to put this in general. No, questions, something, theme, individualism, general. Okay. I'm going to put this in general here. Okay. Give players, pet. You know what? It's going to be a company pet. Company pet. And it's not going to be, okay, so my world may have turned a little bit steampunk. That's inadvertent, but it is kind of going off the notion that my son wants guns, and trying to play into his fantasy is important to me. So, and then also my wife and everyone else, they want pets and stuff. So I don't think I'm going to give everyone a pet, but I'm going to give the party like a company pet, and it's like, that robot from the space movie? What is it? What's it called? Interception? No, I can't remember. Interstellar. It's not a very good representation. Oh, okay. I'm gonna give him like a bishop. Give my players a pet, like a pet bishop, right? Like a company robot or a company droid, some kind of bioorganic, biomechanical. Okay, give players, I'm going to put parentheses, biomechanical biomechanical. That's, I put a hyphen in the wrong, didn't put a hyphen there. Okay, biomechanical. There's a pet, biomechanical ally. That serves a function. Serves a function, like, not like it's a bomb diffusing thing that you send it in to go get killed or something, but it serves some function in the party. And it's not like an NPC that I have to run, so I don't have a player character. It's something that, like, I don't know, maybe it's like a healer. Maybe since none of one in my party really wants to play a priest, maybe I give it like some medical. Oh, maybe it tries to do CPR on party members or something. I don't know. That serves some. That's actually, you know, that would tie them to it. Like if it's the thing that saves them, it might be a little bit overpowered in a Shadowdark setting because my players want to be dying, but it also does give me that kick the dog thing. Given how it serves some mechanical function. Okay, all right. All right. That should probably go below it. I'll start sorting these things later on, but thank you. Am I still behind, or is this thing stayed where I want it to? Connect the players. Okay, crash ship. Okay, lean into the kick the dog. Okay, all right. Suggest for ties. All right, see. Player's family business was failing contact. Oh, interesting. Okay, the player family business was failing contact with Unicorn Man. Turned around biz so they are loyal despite his evil because of their own interest. Hang on. The player family business was failing contact with Unicorn Man. Turned around biz. Michael, you might have to flesh this out a little bit more. So you're saying, let me see if I understand this correctly. Are you saying that the Unicorn Man is a company person? So like the Unicorn Man is actually a company person who just like too many crystals or something? All right, player family chat was failing contact with Unicorn, because your sentence, I'm getting two different ideas here. Family business was failing contact with Unicorn Man, turned around biz. Okay, Unicorn Man turned around biz. Post some more about what you mean about this, because I think it's an interesting idea to try and tie the Unicorn Man into this thing somehow. I actually like that, because right now the Unicorn Man and that whole like kind of expanding empire is sort of just a coincidence. Like they happen to be on the same island. Like I don't have any ties for the Unicorn Man to the crystals. But yeah, if the Unicorn Man is basically a company man that figured out some way to use the crystals to his advantage, and actually is just turning the region, you know, like there's interesting stuff there. Let me know more what you think about that. I don't quite know how to tie that in, but I'll put it in the general ideas. Give players a fort. Let's see. In the session area, Unicorn Man main villain carrier becomes intelligent zombies. Tab here. Unicorn Man has ties to the company. Question mark. I'm just going to put question mark. I'm going to put a few question marks. Okay. All right, let's see. Current topic of taking over strongholds sounds really cool. Different factions having their own primary base and what reminds you of older games. Okay. I like it too. I like the idea. I like the idea of them taking over bases, and then maybe there's some reason the company can't send more troops or something. Maybe they can, but at the same time, my players, if they have a character die, they could make a player from one of the factions who's going to help the party in some way or something, right? Like they could be picking up, characters from different things. And as well, like for example, like maybe there's certain classes, this is a little video gamey, but maybe there's certain classes that only certain factions can be. I'm not sure about that yet, but all right, let's see. Oh yeah, there's my, now I have really caught up with that comment about my ADHD medication. Somewhere down here, I'm going to actually catch up to you guys telling me that I do have a serious ADD problem, and I'm just going to have to deal with that. See, the pumpkin key is a magic item. Let's see, along with the metal hook from the closet. The pumpkin key is a magic item along with the metal hook from the closet. You're speaking in a code that I don't quite understand yet, unless this is about something. Okay, this was about when Riker was coming down the stairs. Wow, I am really far behind. I'm so sorry. He was talking about the Pumpkin King. He gets fixated on Skeleton Jack from The Nightmare Before Christmas. I left my coffee in the bathroom. Hang on. I need something to drink. All right, yeah, I'm assuming that was regarding the thing that Riker said when he was coming downstairs. All right, yes, but let's see. Yes, but I have to create dozens of NPCs this week. Okay, both thief and casters. Okay, so let me know how you're gonna do that to make it like when you make a faction. I suppose it's. I would imagine it's very interesting if you make the factions maybe need each other for a little bit or need each other sometimes. Like maybe they actually have some sort of relationship with each other and they have an economy between each other. I haven't really done that. I don't think I've ever really done that in a building of a game world, but I think I would like to. Let's see. Nick Campbell says dungeons have multiple entry points as well. Okay, I'm thinking too narrowly about what a dungeon is. You're absolutely right. I am thinking about a dungeon as though a dungeon is simply a hole in the ground with walls. Like you're totally right. I could you give me some examples of other dungeons? Yeah, I mean, like I guess a spaceship is a dungeon. Yeah, I got you. Let's see, goblin holes have one way in. Okay, goblin holes have one way in and one way out. All right, that's why it's a hole. See, Riker's a good example of players making their own goals. Did you know that a pumpkin key existed before 10 minutes ago? No, but he's willing to go on a quest for it. Darn it. He certainly is willing to go on quests for just about anything, and if you can figure out the thing he's interested and why, that is especially helpful in understanding, like in interacting with him. See, John says a survivor that's held up in the fort could actually have one of the secrets. Okay, secrets map, right? Secret maps that shows the cave system underneath the fort. Interesting. Right. Okay, so I keep moving this thing. I want to save that right there. Okay, leave that mouse right there. Okay, all right, so I'm going to go back to, is this going to be in general ideas? Yeah, general ideas. Okay, so they're retaking a fort. All right, personal goals, give players access to a fort. Main goal they want to complete in the first session. Okay, and I'm going to put a notch near that. Hang on. Space. I don't know how to make it do it again. Enter. Space. Okay, now it just hates me. All right, give players a goal to complete, and then it's going to be retake company fort. I'm gonna take a sip so I can put this down. I was drinking really slowly because I didn't want to spill it on myself and show that I'm like stupid and don't know how to drink. Sorry. I actually am really curious. I want to scan down just a little bit. Is anyone giving me feedback that I'm super ADHD? I'm not seeing it. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it then. It's been on my mind and I'm like, maybe I should really focus on this and try not to get distracted, but I'm going to keep getting distracted. I don't think it's something I can do anything about. All right. Retake. You see, I already did. Company. Retake company fort. Fort's going to go in quotes. Retake company fort. Parentheses. Fort. I'm just going to go with airship. I'm liking airship now. Broken airship. Okay. And what do I do? Two spaces. There we go. Retake company fort. Hold on. Already lost track of the thing. Goblin hole. There we go. Survivor. Rescue survivors in fort. You survivors in airship. Okay. Whoops. All right. Me too. No, okay, me too. ING. Okay. Me too. Lots of index card NPCs are now good characters beyond magic items and SD random types. Hang on. What is that? What is that responding to? Me too. ING. Lots of my index card NPCs are now good characters beyond magic items and Shadowdark random types. I don't know what that means. If you can expand that out, let me know. Oh, okay. Wasn't complaining, making a light observation. Am I worse than normal? If I'm worse than normal, let me know. Like maybe I need to eat or something. But okay, I appreciate you saying that, Austin. I'll stop being insecure. In Shadowdark, the torch rule creates an outdoor trope. Okay. I think I know what you mean. So since there's the torch timer rules and you're working on that with light, like there's the idea that you don't need light outside. Ooh, interesting. Maybe I could even do something with that. Like maybe I could lean into the darkness of the world or something. Like maybe there's actually like a spreading darkness, like a mire that's coming out. Like so when you go out into the world, there's darkness or something. I don't know. I'll think about that. But you're right. If this is going to be like a lot of overland stuff, then they may not need like the torches and the light and stuff. But you know, my son wants to do torches and light, so maybe there is some sort of haze or fog or something. I'm not sure. Let me know if you have any thoughts on that. All right, I am down here. Okay, it's not okay. All right. It's not annoying, but you are rocking dual monitors. You should have a monitor that's just your comment section, and you should do a little timer for when to look and read and time the writing. That's a good point. I probably could do that. I do have dual monitors. This right here is a monitor where I'm looking, and this is a monitor, and this is a monitor. There's actually 3 monitors. All right, and fleshing out ideas. All right. Yeah, there's a chat setting for a comment only every 5 minutes or something. I mean, I don't really want to do that. Yeah, I don't. Okay, I guess I'll think about that, and I don't know what to do about that. If you guys want me to try and speed up, I can just read these things and I guess like print this out or something. I do kind of like getting feedback on them. All right, fleshing out ideas. I don't even want, I don't even want it for the region. I just want it for that one fort. Okay, interesting. Okay, so maybe not airships throughout the region, just that one fort. Okay, I think that's what you're talking about. Especially if it was an orc. Okay, especially if it was an orc region last year. Okay, that makes sense. Like maybe orcs were like the native thing, you know, or, well, since I have like free peoples, I guess I have to figure out who the free peoples are. Like, what is the resistance force? Are they also natives? So like, are orcs and free peoples natives? All right. Let's see. Yeah, I can't imagine going back to using just a single monitor. Let's see, dual monitor is a lifesaver when I'm working on a cheat sheet. Keeping a secrets guide up on the side when I'm playing a boomer shooter. Okay. Yes, it's oceans. Wait. No, the whole thing just moved. Oh, I guess it just rolled down to the very bottom. That's not helpful. Where were we? Oh, there we go. Okay, it's an Ocean 11. Is everyone needs A team for bad stuff? And everyone needs the A team for bad stuff. Okay. 1, give them a cute thing. 2, threaten it. See what happens. No, that's you're absolutely right, TSL Frontman. Okay, Orkol says Alien RPG one shot before you start new campaign. That's not a bad idea. I don't have Alien RPG. I do have Call of Cthulhu. I just got the starter box of Call of Cthulhu, and I mean, you know, that would be fun. All right. Oh wow, so much work. Honestly, I never do this much. I typically start with the players not knowing much more than what happens in their village and maybe where the capital is and who the king is. Professor DM has a great primer. I think it is Dungeon Craft number 45. Thank you for letting me know. I'm way behind in the video though. Don't worry, I'm way behind in the chat. Mothership over Alien gameplay wise, trust me. Tell me why, John. I mean, I've heard people really like Mothership, and I'm interested in running both. I'm interested in playing and running both Mothership and Alien RPG. Satori says my either Nemo. Let's see. I build 3 games ahead. Okay. I build 3 games ahead with about 8 options for each game. Now the thieves are about Airshipman Guild. Oh, no, sorry. Now the thieves are about. That's true. Mothership is the best. Airshipman Guild. That is a good idea. A guild of airship people. Where was it? In the factions area. Let's see. Forts and mining vehicles. Something players. They're fort now. Where are my factions? Setting multiple good factions. Okay. Let's go over here. Guilds. Air. Stop it. Airshipmen. I'm gonna go with crystal something or other. Crystal tinkerers or something. Crystal readers. And maybe they're more like a mystics or something. Like maybe there's multiple uses for the crystals, like crystal readers, and then crystal miners. I don't want to get too heavy on the crystals, but they are sort of a central thing here. Miners, okay. I'll leave that be for the moment unless I get some other ideas. All right, did I move the mouse? I did. All right, and the theme has been lost. You might be right. Let's see. Is there a way we can still tie the theme into it? Airshipman Guild, contractors. No, yeah, Austin, you're right. So because they're company men, they're part of a thing. Oh, but hang on. There's the duality of the theme. Okay, there we go. There's the duality of the theme. They are company men, and yet they are going to try and be individuals in the company. And then here we have this this unicorn man who has a similar thing going. And you know what? Maybe the unicorn man's even way more efficient at being a company, right? Like just injecting the people. And maybe there's the dichotomy, right? Like a unicorn man is like some sort of company head or something, but now has found a better way to run a company by just making drones. So we have the theme of individuality within the idea of collectivism. That's exactly what TSL Frontman was saying. So no, you okay? So let me make a note of that so I don't lose it, because I think you're making a good point by saying that I might lose the theme by going too heavy-handed in the collectivism. What is individualism? Let's see. Hang on. Okay. First session. Okay. What is individual? What is collectivism? Less vague nuance. Okay. So company individualism. Company individualism, or no, I'm going to say individualism within the company. Individualism within the company versus collectivism versus collectivism of Unicorn Man. Something like that. Like I get what you're saying though. There is the danger of going too heavy into the company thing. Like if the company is just constantly providing resources and abilities and like loyalty to the company becomes a big thing. You're right. There's the potential for me to totally go off the rails of this thing and lean too much into the collectivism. So thank you for that note. And I might add a, what is individual multi-collective? Okay, careful. Yeah, I'm gonna put a mark here with a tab. Careful. Careful lines. I'm gonna put an exclamation mark to make sure I pay attention to that. All right. Question ideas. No. Mothership. There we go. Agreed. Okay. And we're no. Okay. Theme is lost. All right. Agreed. We're going way too sci-fi now. Almost Stargate levels. Okay. Crystal or upgrading. All right, John. What do you think we do about that to bring it out of sci-fi and bring it more into Shadowdarky steampunk? I mean, is it possible? Okay. Is it possible to have an airship in a Shadowdark setting? I mean, is that too zany already? Let's see. You see. Yeah, I never did this much prep either, but then I've been a GM for 40 years. Interesting. You know, and that I can understand that. I guess my thought would be like, how does that work, right? You start up, you're in a room, you're in a tavern. But I'm guessing like you got to just be making the whole thing up as you go, right? Like, is there any framework to your system or to your setting, like, or how do you make a framework to your setting? You know, and I don't know how to do that. So this is, I've not been DMing for 40 years. Yeah. Let's see, crystals are upgrading. Yeah. I'm gonna try and I don't want to skim through and skip stuff because this is actually all very helpful, I think at least. I'd run this by the players as it may be wandering away from Shadowdark general themes. I like the ideas, but they may be expecting something else. That's fair. Crystals infused with something, maybe elementals. Okay, that's not an unheard of idea. All right, we're gone way past Shadowdark themes for sure. Okay, if the kid loves it, I'd play it. I consider Shadowdark a tool set for the world as anything I want it to be. I agree with that. I even thought about doing Shadowdark Wildsea. The only reason I'm not going with the Wildsea thing is because I think that game actually might be fun to play as it is. Like, before I start taking my Monopoly board game apart and stripping the pieces out of it, like, let me see if I can actually get it running as intended, because I know I didn't get it running as intended, and I kind of want to know how that game plays. Let's see. Orcs are pirates. Orcs are pirates. Maybe land pirates. Oh, that's kind of the same thing, right? Orcs are pirates. All right, I like that. I mean, that takes me back into like a type of archipelago setting that Gary's running in his game, and I like the idea of running in a setting with boats. Okay, so I could get out of airship, I could go back to boat, company boat, steal crystals. All right, I'm playing with these things, but I'm gonna write down the idea that orcs are pirates. Over here, setting orcs on okay, general ideas. Orcs want crystals. Orcs are enemy of the company. Orcs pirates. I'm gonna leave that be. Okay, sent it in the chat. Sent it in the chat area on Discord. Had to leave to go to work for a bit. Okay. I think I DM'd it yesterday, but maybe it was a lie. I think I DM'd it yesterday, but maybe it was a lie. All right, well, have a good time at work and end your code. All right, Nemo says, I was discussing in the YouTube if he likes Shadowdark rules, that SeaWorld or whatever setting, and to combine them. Okay, it is easy to switch settings even from fantasy to near modern. Hugh from Final Space. Oh, I'm assuming you're talking about the NPC or the company creature, right? I watched Final Space. I like that show. Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea has an airship that uses green diamonds to fuel it, but the diamonds are radioactive. AS and SH. Okay, same thing. Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers has a few sci-fi elements to it, however. Okay, interesting. Blake Wolf. Okay, from Final Space, from Star Trek. Oh, yeah. Okay, that Hugh related to the Borg. Right. Not Final Space. Okay, I was double checking. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. Let's not be a little off. Okay, do a minor healing spell as an AOE. Yeah, like maybe something like that. I don't want to take down the tone or the difficulty of the game by giving them an NPC that's different, like that wins their situations. But maybe it's like a medic or something. Like maybe it's a medic and it's a target that enemies would go, that thing's healing, kill it, right? All right. This has been a TSL Frontman says this has been a great stream and everyone in the comments should smash their local like button. Oh, thank you, TSL Frontman. Does Focalin or Concerta sound familiar? I used to take Concerta, and my son is on Focalin. They are both familiar to me. I'll be honest. I don't really take any medications. I used to be heavily medicated, for like a long time. I used to take medications for like headaches. I used to take medications for focus. And the thing is, like, while I took those medications, like I was on Wellbutrin for not like depression, but just like thinking and focus and stuff. But like I wasn't creative, and like for like I don't think about 10 years or so, I was on medications and I never did anything creative. Like I very rarely edited videos. I wasn't doing stuff like this. I watched movies. I watched TV shows.
You know, I played a lot of video games, but like I was not creative, and I've always been like a pretty like creative person. Like I used to love editing videos and making trailers for stuff. Like I have a whole channel where I just made trailers. It's not good. Like my stuff's not. I'm not suggesting you go find it. I'm just saying that used to be my focus. My focus was like editing stuff. I love spending like 90 hours, but when I was on medications, I didn't. And so there's like 10 years where I just didn't really make stuff. I didn't do stuff. And so, yeah, I just don't take them now. Every so often I'll take like CBD oil, you know, and that helps me with my focus a little bit. That helps me like with speed of thought, or at least like keep my attention. But I like to be creative, and this is fun. You know, I really enjoy this. I like making games. I mean, I don't think I would be making miniatures and models and stuff with my kid with how I used to feel when I was medicated. So sorry is what you get. You know, I would rather be this and creative than be streamlined and disinterested or apathetic. I hope that makes sense. Michael says, Unicorn Man is building a faction. Faction needs resources. Example, if he is building an army, he needs hardtack, okay? He becomes a major buyer of the company's hardtack. Interesting, okay. Company needs the income from the hardtack contract to fund something else they are doing. Don't realize it is the Unicorn Man they are engaged or they're entangled with. Interesting, okay. Was supposed to be a contact, was supposed to be a contact, not contact. Really type on phone. Really, okay. We're supposed to be. Oh, it was supposed to be contract, not contact. Okay, got you. All right. So let's see. Unicorn Man is building a faction. Got that. Faction needs resources. I understand. He's building an army. He needs the hardtack. What is hardtack, by the way? Is that like resin or something? Becomes a major buyer. Okay. Company needs the income from the hardtack contract. See, to fund something else they're doing. They don't realize it's the Unicorn Man they're entangled with. Okay, gotcha. So that's a good idea. So maybe he's not a company person. All right, let me give another idea to him. Let me go over here. Contact, company man. Let's see. Where's my Unicorn Man ideas? They're in the setting area. Okay. Unicorn Man. Okay, Unicorn Man has ties to company. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna put another tab there. Unicorn Man is company rival. Vying for yes, Riker.
Have you seen the skeleton?
Have I seen what skeleton, Riker?
That is called color shaped orange.
Have I seen your color-shaped orange skeleton?
It broke. That's one, but I need. It's the same one at the clinic.
Oh, you're right. You did get a skeleton that you saw at the clinic, but you tore him in half. So are you telling me that you're upset you tore your skeleton in half?
Yes.
So how do you get a skeleton that is no longer torn in half? Come here. Come talk to me. Come here. How do you get a skeleton to be not torn in half? No, leave that. That's the Walnuts Brothers. Leave it. How do you, hey, no. You got, man, no, okay, stop, listen. Don't keep grabbing stuff. Focus on me. How do you get a not torn in half skeleton? Focus on me. Nope, leave all the stuff on the desk alone. Stay with me. See, he's like dealing with me.
Wait, these are like orange.
Stop it. No, these are clamps. Give them. Nope, give them. Stop. Okay, listen. Focus. How do you have a skeleton that's not torn in half? You can either glue him back together, or you can work and do chores and go buy a new one. Okay, glue him back together. She got to ask mommy to glue him back together.
Might as well get glue him back together.
All right, no, get out of hey, out of brother's room, buddy.
We would glue
Can you-
but we only have the top half of
Can you close this door?
Yeah.
Okay. Hardtack is ship biscuits, basically. Travel bread. It was only an example. Yeah, okay, I got you. It could be a widget or an item required. Okay, gotcha. Competing resource. Okay, so vying for similar resources for same resources. Competition. Let's see. Unicorn Man is, I'm gonna say mysterious.
just to keep me, like, the company doesn't know who this is mysterious company rival. Okay. Where were we? That was about the pet. All right, go ahead. Okay, Heyo. Let's see. Maybe we all have ADHD and that's why we watch. I wouldn't be surprised. Apparently all the kids have ADHD now. I mean, like, my phone gives me ADHD. I got like notifications on here and like my brain is going must check notification. Yeah, I get you. See, John says the attachment to the property that is aliens causes an issue with, the attachment to the property that is aliens causes an issue with playing a game that is meant to be all about imagination. It heavily limits what players are and what they do. The attachment of the property that is aliens. I see what you mean. So because you connect the aliens' intellectual property to the role-playing game system, you essentially create an influencer. Is that right? Like, you're creating something that basically influences the players to engage a certain way? That's what I'm understanding from that. Especially if what you want is dark, scary, prey, hunter situation. Mothership does a much better job with that. Interesting, okay. Plus, the depth that Mothership has with other systems, such as its social systems, make it just a far superior game. That's interesting. I hadn't considered that the intellectual property would mess with the system that much, but that's a good take. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see, company name proposal, Hedron Solutions. Hedron Solutions. That is a little modern, futuristic, but I'm going to put it down for an idea, and I'm probably going to splinter that into something else. I want something that sounds a little bit yield. I think I want to lean more into the steampunk future as opposed to the Hyperborea fantasy, or something. You know what I mean? Like I get the point you're saying, like Shadowdark, and I get what Nemo is also saying about, like, I can just do whatever I want with this. But I do, like, I think my thought was, like, low industrial revolution, otherworld, Spanish conquistadors. You know, going into like this mysterious land of like human sacrifice and slavery or something like that. That idea seemed really interesting. What was that one? Let's see, I already forgot the name. Where did it go? Hedron Solutions. There we go. Company versus collectivism. Okay, this is going to go in general ideas. Main goal. Company. Retake company. Company name. Let's see. I'm going to put something like Hedron Solutions. Okay. Okay, agreed. Mothership can be Alien, Traveler, Star Trek, Firefly, pretty much anything. Interesting. Event Horizon, The Abyss, Blade Runner. All right, that's like the best sales pitch for that game ever. That's very interesting. I'm having a really hard time conceptualizing how that game system runs. I've been avoiding like going out and buying some of these because I just don't have time to play all of them. But I'll definitely look into that one a little more. My game store has been sold out of it for forever for some reason. Apparently it's hard to come by, or the company who produces it or publishes it isn't making very many for stores to buy. All right, let's see. John said, no, I missed one. Hang on. Can I fly a dragon in place of an airship? Event Horizon. Okay. Could you fly a dragon in place of an airship? Interesting. Like, maybe it's not an airship. Maybe it's like a balloon or something, or some sort of creature. Ooh, like a flying turtle or something. A flying turtle that eats. I might be getting too zany. I guess it could be, but then it means it's a friendly dragon, right? Like, it's a company dragon, so like the vehicle. Tell me more about what you think about that, TSL Frontman. Like answer your own question somewhat, because I'd be interested to hear your thoughts or ideas. Yeah, right, because if I go airship, I'm obviously in the realm of like some sort of future sci-fi setting. All right, let's see. What if this darkness you were considering was spore clouds venting from the earth like mushroom volcanoes, giving you the ability to change the variability of different clouds, having new effects? Let's see. Right. Spore clouds that allow me to mess with the world to some degree. All right, so I'm going to put in there some kind of fog or cloud or something, some kind of setting that, let's see. Here in the general ideas, okay, main goal, retake company, rescue airship, players give themselves personal goals, okay, eventually give players access to mobile ship or fort. I'm going to put question marks after this, okay, give vague enemy maps, barricade, right? Allow my players to generate people, places, things in the world, allow players to answer world-building questions, multiple maps, okay. I'm going to go down here with it, new idea. All right, and this one is going to be, not darkness. I'm going to call it Fog of War. I'm going to put quotes around it. Fog of War. I'm going to say dispellable. Dispellable Fog of War. Generated by spores. Or maybe even the crystals themselves. Okay, and then generated by spores, maybe the crystals, and then the Fog of War. What was the thing you said? Let's see. Right there, different clouds having new effects. Okay, giving you the ability to change the variability of different clouds. Okay, different clouds have not. I'll just say variability. Have variability. All right. Thank you. See, I think the airship isn't the problem, more the sci-fi elements on how it works, i.e. think Star Trek ship engines. So, okay, that's a good idea. How about if the airship works by harnessing some kind of creature? I'm not sure I like the idea of the giant flying turtle, but maybe some kind of creature that is in some way harnessed. Ooh, like that even might, maybe the company friend or something. Maybe the company NPC is the airship. Okay, so airship not the problem, just the sci-fi elements. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, check out Cloud Express, weird fantasy hack of mothership. Cloud Empress. Let me see if I have a note in here that's pretty clean that I can make a mark on. Actually, Matt, are you on the Discord? Do you mind sending me a link to it? Like if it's a drive-through RPG file, would you mind sending me a link to Cloud Empress? I'd be interested to take a look at it. Thank you. See, gotta head to the gym later, fellas. Chevron, thank you so much. Have a good time at the gym. John says the darkness could also be a reaction to crushing the crystals in the factories from the Unicorn Company. Okay, it's how he's doing the mind control, or at least amplifying his powers. Interesting. Okay, so he uses the crystals in a different way. He crushes them or eats them or something, and it gives him the ability to amplify his powers. Okay, I'm gonna tie in some world building on the crystals. Let's see, and make it. Let's see, Unicorn Man. Okay, I think it was in the settings area. Settings, there we go. Okay, players need to take the fort. Crystals, there we go. Multiple good factions, crystal miners. Okay, crystals are store energy or spells. Okay, crystals act as upgradable materials. They can upgrade the fort for specific reasons, modular slots and abilities. Crystals are fragile. Removing the technology can destroy them. Let's actually add this in here to the Unicorn Man. Unicorn Man wants, let's go here. Unicorn Man uses, I'm gonna say uses the crystals. Uses the, I don't want to say darkly, uses the crystals differently. I'm just gonna use the crystals, uses the crystals for power amplification. Amplification. Unicorn Man destroys crystal. Unicorn Man. How do I say this? Maybe there's like a factory or something that the Unicorn Man, or maybe there's various factories, like multiple factories. However the Unicorn Man is processing. Okay, here we go. Unicorn Man is processing crystals and creating the spore clouds, or the Unicorn Man. Crystal processing creates spore clouds. This is going to be a separate one, so, but I don't want to double indent this. I think this one, yeah, I'll make this a separate one. Okay, and this is going to be rare flower grows in the region that can cure a Unicorn Man sting. Okay. All right, where are we at? Going to the gym. Okay, so think about a chevron. Okay, darkness. Okay, there we go. I was using it for mind control, or at least amplifying his powers. Okay. All right. Nemo says, always begin with something exciting, i.e. they encounter the unicorn or two and drones, and they're battling orcs, or maybe have captured orcs. Showing them what is going on is way better than telling them. Or unicorns ambush you. They have captured orcs already, something like that. Begin like James Bond movie with the mission already going, then flashback as you need to. Best to end on cliffhanger too. I'm a great dad. Thank you so much for saying so, Nemo. I appreciate that. I like that idea of starting them in the midst of a thing. That's kind of what I was trying to go for with the Wild Sea. I think I did it wrong. I think I did it really wrong. But yeah, I like the idea of them starting them off in the encounter. And how could they? Ooh. Okay, so maybe they're showing up to the region with a boat. Okay, so some of the issue I have with that is I've established in the world that the Unicorn Man is a superior force. So if the Unicorn Man is aware of them, it would be best if the Unicorn Man snuffs them out right away. You know, it's hard for me to rationalize why the Unicorn Man doesn't want to snuff them out right away if they're like competition. Unless the Unicorn Man wants something from their existence. And so then I have to start playing that three-dimensional chess game of making it so the Unicorn Man is actually using the good guys to do a thing. And I don't know, that starts getting into that tropey area where, like, if the Unicorn Man meets them, why doesn't he kill them? You know? So I like them starting in, like, boom, an encounter, right? And that's where I kind of thought, like, we'd start with retake this fort. So they're going to go into a fight right away. Maybe they're on the run from something. Like, maybe they're, like okay, answering the question that I had earlier. I keep moving the wrong mouse. Answering the question I had earlier about what are the secrets in this area and what are the monsters, I could come up with, like, a monster that essentially, you know, is chasing my players to the fort. It seems a little contrived, but I do like your idea of starting the thing in a series encounter. So I'm going to put this in the questions, actually. How can I start? How can I start my players in the middle of, I don't want to say a fight, in the middle of a conflict. Okay, that's, I think I'm getting the idea of what you're saying. Hardtack is the ship biscuits. Okay, I read that part. Command, right. Same thing. He's trying to achieve something. All right, the Fiendish DM. You asked earlier how to start a new campaign. If I don't do the, okay. Oh, if I don't do this much prep. Yes, thank you for reminding me. If you'd like, I can send you a DM. Perhaps we can schedule a face-to-face chat if you're open with the idea. I would be open to the idea. Yeah, I'd love to. The thing you are describing about being able to just like start a campaign and play it, I don't want to say it's super foreign to me. Like I have played a game with my son and his friend, and like I wasn't taking it too seriously, but I know I was just making stuff up as it goes. And then you come to a mind flayer, and the mind flayer, there's a portal behind him. You're in another dimension. Like I have played just random stuff like that. I'm not saying it's not interesting. My son was having fun with it at the time, but I think he's a little more discerning now, and if I were just making up the game as I go, he might sense that. And I'm not saying he'd have a problem with it, but I don't know. I at least would know I was making it up as I go. Anyways, yeah, I would definitely love to have a chat with you. So if you want, like, I fixed the Discord link. You should be able to find the Discord link in the About section of YouTube. Click it, go to it, whatever. Just click on me, send me a message, and then yeah, we can talk. Let's see. Today is Tuesday. I don't know. I'm doing something tonight. I might be doing something tonight. Oh yeah, no, I'm playing with Gary tonight. Maybe we can talk tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, maybe we can like chat tomorrow in the morning. But yeah, thank you I appreciate the offer. Let's see, John. Waterproof bread was one of the best inventions of the medieval era. Interesting. I didn't know that. Nothing wrong with ADD. Never been normal. Yeah, I I think that's probably true for me too. See, company name proposal. All right, let's see. Glimmering Futures brings a theme of optimism paired with ambivalence. It has a double pun with futures, meaning both time futures and money speculation. Glimmering Futures. I'm going to add that to the list of company names. I got to stop moving the wrong mouse. All right, let's see. Glimmering, let's see, where was that? Company names, company something, they're down here. General ideas, company names, something like Hedron Solutions. Here, we're going to put this one on its own now. I'm going to go tab, whoop. All right, tab 1, there we go. And you're not doing what I want you to do. Yeah, now it's doing it. Oh, you're so annoying. Tab. All right, that'll do. It was Glimmering Optimism. No, Glimmering Futures. Glimmering Futures, where did it go? There we go. Yeah, Glimmering Futures. Okay. Any other suggestions you have given to me? And this one was double. I'm going to say it was not a double entendre, but it has a pun. All right. My wife loves puns. Okay, here we go. All right, so Ave Destron says, if you have a friendly dragon, put it against an evil dragon in a different location. Ooh, that's a good idea. And so that comes into the questions I have about the world, like what sort of monsters are in this world. So I don't have the answer to that, actually. I haven't even really thought about like what sort of local wildlife there is. Oh, I forgot to actually answer that question. Did I put it somewhere else in here? No, I need to put that. Conflict, secrets of the region. Yeah, I got distracted talking about what the secrets of the region are. So let's go. Monsters. Oh, no, I do have it. First question. What other monsters are in this region? And let's just pop in here with a possible answer. Yeah, I'm going to go tab. Dragons. And put a question mark. Yeah, I like the idea of having monsters that are interesting to the players and the players making friends with them, but then those monsters are potentially, under threat. That's a great idea, especially a dragon. People like dragons. Dragons are kind of cool. All right, let's see. If I push steampunk, go with balloon airship. It's more fantasy than flying creature, but gun ability. Oh, but gun availability makes them targets. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, so if I do it, I got to make some sort of weapons to make it so it's dangerous to travel around the world. So maybe there's maybe that's how the original ship is crashed. There are some sort of like flak cannons that have shot the previous airship down. So they're on their way. They can't have an airship. So this is maybe like a flying mining vessel, or like a floating mining vessel. Maybe the crystals are in the clouds, somewhere up high. Crystal trees. Okay, all right. So yeah, that's interesting. So let's stick with balloon airship. I'm gonna go down here. I lost my mouse again. Balloon airship. Retake company fort broken airship. Slash balloon airship. Balloon. Okay. All right. Not balloons. Airship. Airship or balloon airship. Okay. Let's see. Dragon as an airship. Let's see. Dragon as an airship. An NPC that can ferry the party around, probably on its back or in a pouch, etc., like the lion boat in Zelda the Wind Walker. Can easily advance plot devices and avoids technology. It's a good point. All right, I'm going to put living creature as another option. Broken airship, balloon airship, slash living creature. Okay, and I can, yeah, right away, like living creature keeps it in the realm of fantasy more than the sci-fi thing. Okay, thank you. Let's see. World's okayest GM says for darkness thing, the crystals definitely make more sense. I came in late and wasn't thematically minded yet. That's okay. I'm jumping all around the place. To be honest, I don't know what I like more. Since my son said he wants guns, I'm kind of like, all right, maybe I'm a fantasy setting, but it's kind of like World of Warcraft fantasy. You know, like the dwarves have made pistols and stuff, and I'm fine with that. Like I think that's, what is that, like 1600s or something? Like I'm out of Dark Ages, but I'm in some kind of like the industry is just starting or the industry is established. And since I'm trying to flesh out this setting, you know, the idea of a fort eventually turned into an airship and now is maybe a creature. I'm not sure which one to go with. I do want to stick with like the dark thing, but I don't hate steampunk. Like I don't hate steampunk. Like steampunk is kind of interesting. I'm just not sure if steampunk is Shadowdark. I also don't know if steampunk isn't Shadowdark, right? I mean, what Nemo already said, which was like you can basically just put Shadowdark in anything, right? I could be like, yo, these are blaster rifles. You guys are playing Han Solo now, you know? All right. Let's see. TSL Frontman doesn't need to be a dragon, but a living fairy can can cut a lot of corners without really cheating. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Like it can be like a character in the story, maybe more than a ship can. It can still be something upgradable potentially. It can be something that they kind of fall in love with, so therefore it can be threatened, right? We have like that threatened pet thing. Yeah, I gotcha. I'm liking the living creature. I'm just not able to picture it yet, what it is, or how the company has it. You know, and maybe I need to just go like take a stroll through some sort of fantasy book to connect some kind of living creature to the company and like what the company is or something. Let's see, dragon is an airship. Oh no, wait, hang on. No, I read that one already. What was Legend of Zelda? All right, John says be right back. Okay, the Fiendish DM says airships don't automatically equal sci-fi. Okay, D&D has Spelljammers and basic D&D had airships. Oh, sorry. D&D has Spelljammer, and the basic D&D had airships, and the Forgotten Realms had them too. Think the Flying Dutchman to envision the ships. I gotcha. Flying Dutchman, right. It's like a pirate ship, but it floats somehow. could be like happy thoughts or something. It can always be a drone in the initial encounter. It can be a drone. Oh, okay, so like the villain. Okay, so oh, I see. Not the real unicorn man. It's a drone, and actually that gives me some options too. That's not a bad idea. Okay, so interesting. So, oh, let me keep reading your thought. I guess I thought it was unicorn men with some minions being scouts versus unicorn man. I think I would do it that way too. There might be some lesser unicorn men. Like at some point they start growing a horn. The longer they've been one of the minions, maybe they start growing horns or something. Or I could start with wounded orcs running from the unicorn man. Doesn't have to be a battle, just something exciting. Interesting. Okay. You don't have to start them in the middle of a conflict. You start them right before it in the middle of the adventure. Okay. I have run my players through Phandelver, but I didn't run it very well. I jumped off the rails far too quickly and far too much to be able to say that I successfully ran Phandelver. Let's see. They are escorting a wagon, get attacked. Seeds take you to the main adventure. Okay. And I think in this case, the wagon I'm envisioning is maybe they have a ship. Their ship is getting sunk. Like maybe they're on their way to the fort to try and take it. Or they're showing up on the beach and maybe they're showing up on the beach and the orcs and the unicorn men forces are fighting each other. I'm not sure. I'm gonna keep reading those. This is give me ideas, but I'm going like I'm spread all around the place. Let me see. You don't have to start them. Okay, you got that was from Nick. Okay. Escorting a wagon. Okay. TSL Frontman says in Medias Res is one of the oldest tools for getting a viewer or player immediately involved in the action, from James Bond to Star Wars. It's great for getting players up to highway speeds fast. In the middle, it can feel awkward at first, like merging onto the highway, but the payoff is worth it. All right, let's see. Floating islands above the surface could be the main source of the crystals. That's okay. I like that. That's why we had the airships in the first place, because there's floating islands above the surface. The crystals are on the underside of the islands, some sort of mining operations. Okay, so once we have floating islands, we are sort of in a little bit of a high fantasy thing, but I like the general idea. Yes, buddy, what's up?
No,
Did you say daddy?
No, I am Darkwing Duck.
Oh, you okay?
And this guy is my buddy.
Wait, hold on. You are Darkwing Duck, and that guy is your buddy?
Called Crackerjack.
Quackerjack. I'm sorry.
A robot ATST.
He's a robot ATST called Quackerjack.
That guy.
Who's what?
This guy robbed the bank, so I'm gonna catch him, so I can destroy him.
Are you gonna take that guy with you to ABA? Are you going to go see Adrian?
It got canceled.
Wait, what happened?
He's sick.
Adrian is?
Adrian's sick, yeah.
And Vaughn can't take over?
No, Vaughn's not.
Okay. All right. What are you guys doing?
We're gonna go in the garage and finish cleaning.
Okay. All right. Have a good time. All right. Have a good time, buddy. I just noticed, AJ, you said you had to check out. No problem. That's okay. Welcome back. Let's see. Asking about Phandelver. Okay, in the middle of floating islands above the surface. Okay, I like the idea of the floating islands. I'm going to add that to it. Crystals grow on the floating islands above the surface. Hang on. Give players... That also sets up some pretty interesting encounters where people are on airships and floating islands. Just the idea of a player falling off a floating island could be very fun. All right, let's see. Company, pet, biomechanical, ally, surface. Okay, all right. Players, there's company, airships, crystals down here. Harvestable, extremely valuable. Other nations want crystals. I'm going to go down here to crystals are harvestable, and I'm going to make one right here. Crystals. I'm going to call them useful crystals, just to make it vague for myself. Whoops. Useful crystals are growing on floating islands. On the floating islands. And I'm going to put this one. There are floating with crystals. Okay, useful crystals are growing on the floating islands. Let's see, let's tab this one out some more. Not that far. Let's tab this one out some more. Okay, useful crystals growing on the floating islands. Okay, there are floating islands all around the region. Floating islands. Oops. Okay, there are floating islands all around the region with crystals. The say the crystals are useful. The crystals are useful. Growing on the floating islands. Crystals are harvestable. Crystals are extremely valuable. All right, and then crystals are fragile. Where did that one go? It's in the other area. Okay, I'll have to compile all these together later. All right, I like that floating islands. That's fun. All right, if I want some guns and airships, a simple thing like a crystal that defies gravity would work, and use sails to propel, like on the sea. Makes it familiar with for ease of narration. Okay, so that is an interesting idea. Okay, so I rolled okayest GM. When I read the words, a crystal that defies gravity is interesting because if we have floating islands and there's crystals growing on the islands, as you mine the crystals off, it's very possible for you to mine off the crystal that is making the island float, thereby dropping the island.
Could you try again?
Be quiet, Siri. Therefore making the island drop down. So we could have several areas where there's like a mining operation that's just been smashed by an island or something. So I'm going to write crystals are extremely valuable. Okay, crystals have unique functions. Example, anti-gravity. Interesting. And that could make it so we could, I guess we're back in the we're back in the steampunk one for the ship, but I suppose the ship, there could be airships and we don't have to make the ship not a living creature. At the same time, I guess a living creature could interact with the anti-gravity. Yeah, I'm not, I haven't connected the two yet, but I like the anti-gravity crystals because that also could make it so that there's a way for players to interact in the world by doing things with the crystals. And once they get to know what different ones look like or something, I'm not sure. It might be a little too video gaming, so I might tailor back on all the information about it. I'm meandering it. All right, let's see. Nemo says, gotta roll with my boy. You don't have to finish it all today. Leave some for later. That's a good idea. I'll probably try and wrap up pretty quickly. Let's see. Oh, it's like already 3:20. Okay. Yeah, I need to go eat soon anyway. So, have a good time rolling with your boy. See, leave it for later. Just plan the first battle or whatever follows. See what they like. Run with those themes. Got it. Thank you, Nemo. Let's see. Phoenix GM. 2nd edition and D&D introduce arquebus, which are a little more than a small hand cannon, and instead of gunpowder, they made smoke power, which was magical and thus more rare. Interesting. Okay, so it's not so technical; it's more fantasy. Okay, so arquebus. All right, I'm gonna write down arquebus to look up. Actually, here let's see. I'm gonna go up to the very top over here and write in setting questions. What monsters? Okay. Now it does the stupid tabbing over. I hate you. Okay. Is the setting steampunk? Okay, I'm just gonna ask, what is the setting? What is the setting, like technology, I guess? I'm just gonna ask, what is the setting? Question mark, tab in, fantasy, example, guns called, how did you write that? AR something, there's a Q in there somewhere. I thought it was a blue one. I lost it. There we go. No, second edition. There we go. ARQUE. Okay. ARQUEBUS. Right. Okay. Gun's called Arquebus. Magic powered. All right. Steampunk. Airships, gunpowder, airships, gunpowder, technology. All right. I don't know what the other ones are. I guess this first one is more like high fantasy. High fantasy. I'm obviously leaning a little bit away from the low fantasy. I'm getting a phone call. I'll let her know. I'll call her back soon. Let me see. Custom. Call you back in a few minutes. Okay. All right. Let's see. Where were we? I saw something about Appa from Avatar. All right, let's see, second edition, there we go. Okay, Appa from Avatar had a great, is a great example of a living chariot, even Aladdin's flying carpet. Living transports have countless plot devices you can attach to them. Good point. There's AJ Hennings. Okay, quick skimming. A lot of this stuff seems big. I would get lower and lower to the ground personally. Okay. The bigger and grander the scaler, the harder it's going to be on you at first. That's fair. Also, Nate, this is the plot for Battle of Azeroth. Is it really? Azerite? Okay. I played Warcraft for a long time. I never paid attention to the story. So I mean, I played in Burning Crusade. Is that the story? Is that why they're in the Outworld area? Like they want crystals or something? Okay, so I might be totally hijacking World of Warcraft. I'm pretty sure that's inadvertent because I just clicked buy all the story stuff. I just wanted to kill monsters. But if that's the case, I guess I'm hijacking Azeroth. I was also kind of thinking of like New World, not like the game story because I don't know the story for New World, but just the idea of going to a mysterious new land and companies going there. I thought that concept for their MMO was interesting, although poorly conceived and executed, obviously. But I thought the idea for the New World game, like that kind of colonial industrial revolution that's expanding out into new territory, and there's magic and warlocks and stuff. I thought that was a cool idea. All right, Midwest Malachi says the gravity-defined properties are exponential to crystal size, so you need something really big to have a floating city, but it would be almost impossible to transport. Interesting. Okay, the same mass in little crystals is nowhere near as effective as one large crystal. Okay, yeah, that's so having like, let's see, exponential properties or something. I'm gonna just put that. I keep moving the wrong mouse. All right, down here in my area with crystals. There we go. Crystals unique function, extremely valuable. Property, let's see. Exponential properties based on size. Okay. Example. One large crystal works better than lots of small ones.
So interestingly enough, the idea that I'm getting from a few of you is that you would just start with some basic premises. You wouldn't do all this work to flesh everything out, and then you would just sort of come up with stuff on the fly as you're playing. And I'm interested to know more about that. Like, tell me like how you would do that, because you know, for obviously, if I were just to have started this thing with my first initial idea, I would be making up the company like in session 4 or something. I would be, you know, whoa, wait, I already established you have an airship, so boom, I'm in a steampunk thing, right? So like, what would you do in order to mitigate your retconning things? You know what I mean? Like, because you kind of have to retcon some stuff if you just started, or at least I might have to. Let me know your thoughts. All right. Yeah, and I didn't realize I was stealing the World of Warcraft idea. All right, so Kevin agrees with AJ. Okay, about keeping this, Kevin, you agree as far as keeping the scale down, or that I'm just copying World of Warcraft? I didn't mean to, but, you know, I'm not opposed to it. I don't think any of my players have actually played World of Warcraft. Actually, I'm fairly certain none of my players have played World of Warcraft. All right, see, Midwest says, the larger crystal is, the more it resists moving. Interesting. The larger a crystal is, the more it resists moving, so large islands stay in place. Interesting. So it's like, oh, as opposed to it being anti-gravity, it's like it's just a fixed space or something. And then I guess we go back to the airship not being powered by the crystal, but we maybe have a fantasy animal that is keeping the crystal moving. Now we're back on a steampunk again. That's, okay. Large crystals might be immovable. I'm going to put that down here. Large crystals might be immovable. I'm going to put exclamation next to that to draw my attention to it. Okay. All right, let's see. Large crystal. See, the largest crystal. Okay, all right. John says he's back. Not enough room in text chat to frame out what you mean, but I'm glad Kevin Dudley got it. Let's see. Star Trek Discovery. Is this the plot of Star Trek Discovery as well? Are they also trying to collect crystals or something? Kevin says he never preps anything more than one session ahead. How? Kevin, how? Everything else is fuzzy. I mean, I understand the benefit of that. It's just, okay, so in this case, again, I have 2 things that I know, maybe 3 things that I know my players want. Let's say 3 things. I might come up with more. I'm not going to put a defined number. I know some things my players want. My son wants guns, okay? My friend Marshall wants to be able to create some unique characters in the world. And 2 that he's mentioned to me, no, 3 he's mentioned to me is he wants to make a shape-changing character like a druid. He wants to make a gadgeteer type of character who's like Batman, okay? And he wants to make a drunken fighter. Maybe even a pro wrestler. He comes up with really weird character ideas. Okay, so those are, I have some character ideas my players want. They definitely want some sort of, not an NPC player. I don't want to be playing a character in the game, but they want like an NPC pet, right? So either like an airship or a bishop robot or something, okay? If there are other ideas that I know they want, I can't recall them at the moment. So those are things I know that they want, which means I kind of have to figure out the tone of the setting. Is it sci-fi? Is it steampunk? Is it fantasy? Is it high fantasy? We're going to use Shadowdark. I think we've consolidated the game. We want to make it deadly, okay? So maybe leaning into like the deadliness is important. Maybe leaning into the darkness. So we have like this world where there's like clouds of darkness or something, right? Okay, so, anyways, like how would you do it? Like if you had a player group that you knew this stuff about, how would you just start a game with that information and establish the world boundaries? That's the part I'm not understanding. Like obviously I can just make my own world and go like, here you go guys, this is what you get. Like this is the game I'm playing. If you don't like it, you know, shove off. I'm not going to do that. So how do I make what my players are sort of interested in, allow them to interact, but also not know what the world is, right? So I'm asking genuinely to try and understand. So if you can type something out, otherwise I'd be happy to talk with you like later. If you want to message me on Discord, we can set up another time to converse. The Fiendish DM we're gonna try and get a hold of each other, and I'm interested to hear each of your perspectives on how you would do this, because I don't know how to do this.
All right, everything else is fuzzy. All right, AJ Henning says, I'm falling into scope creep. I agree. Hold on. I lost track of your comment here. It just scrolled up. Oh, wow, there's a lot of comments. Crystals, no. Resist moving. Define gravity properties. No, there we go. Okay, all right, falling into scope creep. Love to run your structure for writing by me sometimes. Okay, really helps me to frame stories out really quickly. Interesting, okay? All right, I love the setup of go in, get the big crystal, and get out before the island crashes to the ground. That's kind of, yeah, that's, I mean, you know what it feels like? It feels a little bit like Oblivion. No, not Oblivion. What's the one with, what's the Elder Scrolls game with Cyrodiil? Is that Oblivion? With Patrick Stewart at the beginning? Yeah, that is Oblivion, right? And you go into you run into the, yeah, right, that's basically, you run into the portal, the Oblivion gate. You got to run through all the demons, grab the crystal, and then like either you're teleported out or you have to make it to the exit or something. I feel like you have to make it to the exit with the crystal, you know, but in this case, it's like get the crystal before the thing crashes to the ground. Like the moment you get the crystal, you're running. I think that, yeah, no, you're right. I think that's kind of cool. That's a cool idea. I'm going to jot that down in the general section so I remember that. Questions for session, theme, general ideas. All right, I'm going to put this down with crystal harvesting. Crystals have unique function, harvestable. I'm going to write crystal harvesting is dangerous. I'm going to put this down in a new area. One more, enter. If I do one more, what happens? Nope, wrong. There we go, perfect, okay. Wrong area. There we go, back, okay. Crystal harvesting is dangerous. Harvesting crystals causes floating islands, to crash down to Earth, whatever. Okay. Still way back here. Okay, I love this. Okay, if it's not relevant to the players in the next session, it's not important to me. I'm very interested to understand how that works because I would love to figure out how, like, okay, how can I get this sort of specificity of system? I mean, okay, here's the thing I'm thinking, like, maybe you guys have read a lot more fantasy books than me. Like, that might be the thing. Like, if you've read a lot of fantasy books, maybe all this stuff just comes to you naturally. And so you're floating with all these fantasy ideas. I have watched a lot of sci-fi, and I've read some sci-fi books. Like, I don't have fantasy in my wheelhouse nearly as much. Like, I've listened to a few books recently. I stopped reading books like a long time ago because I just kind of played video games. I don't know, it wasn't like, books weren't stressed to me when I was a kid, not nearly as much as like other kids, and so I didn't read a lot. And I grew up with people who were reading a lot, and it was like, hey, why would you read? There's like TV shows, like what's wrong with you, right? You know? So I only recently have I started reading again, mostly with like audiobooks and now all these game books I'm trying to read. But so I don't have like fantasy stories just in my wheelhouse of things, and maybe you guys do, and maybe that's the difference. Because when you're talking about just starting this thing up, I'm like, what? That's bonkers. What happens when you get stuck in like a writer's corner or something, right? Like what if you, I don't know, again, I'm trying to understand. So, let's see. Ave Destin says, I used to build up my Pathfinder 2 campaign as it's a dream for just getting a map ready. Oh, no. And it's a dream for just getting a map ready. And that's what I'm figuring out with this right here. Like, this is giving me a lot of ideas for how to structure my map and build the world out. I mean, that's the thing is I have 2 weeks. We're not playing this coming week. I'm not trying to get this ready in 4 days. My son was like, no, this weekend. So like this weekend on Saturday, Marshall, my friend in Thailand, he has a board game that he made a long time ago of aliens versus Predator versus Colonial Marines. I don't know how it's going to work, but we've already taken the time to write out the map. It's more of a board game than like a role-playing game or something. And he wants to test it. And so my son was like, look, he's really been wanting to test it. So let's take a week off. Dad, you do this thing. So he's giving me time to do this thing. We're not rushing back in. So I have a week and a half basically to figure this out, to fix this, to make a map, whatever. If you guys are saying the best thing to do is just to start it, like I'm going like how? I don't how to. I can do that, but I know I'm just making stuff up as I go, and I don't know that I'm really good at doing that without like getting myself into like creative binds. You know what I mean? Like okay, for example, I look at a lot of modern Hollywood movies, and I go, are these people writing Dungeons and Dragons campaigns? You know, because like if you look at the Star Wars one, I think I've used this example before. I know I'm going to be beating a dead drum because I'm pretty sure everyone here also hates the new Star Wars movies. And if you don't, I'm sorry. I hate them. They're disgusting to me. I haven't even watched all three of them because once the first one came out, I was like, yeah, cool. And the second one came out, I was like, did they not write these together? These don't go together. These are not the same movie. And then when the third one came out, it was like, oh, okay, they obviously didn't structure this out. It seems like that story of the Star Wars movies was written like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign where someone didn't know the ending, you know? So, and I know I'm not trying to write a story here, but I don't want to get into that kind of creative bind where I have to like resurrect the Emperor or something, you know? Like, but anyways, maybe you guys have just read a lot more stories than I have. Let me try and get back on track. All right, so AJ says, I do rule of 3 for sessions. I do rule, okay, planning 3 sessions ahead, but depending on the scope of the playthrough, Kevin Dudley, okay, sometimes if the players are wanting a more story-driven narrative play versus world building, you can frame it out further, okay. But I've definitely had groups where I could only prep session by session. Over-prepping leads to burnout. Stay lazy. Why not just grab an Eberron campaign guide? I have an Eberron campaign guide. I don't want to play in 5e. But I get what you're saying. And, okay, let's see. Why not just grab an Eberron campaign guide? I'm going to add it to the questions. Why not just grab an Eberron? I don't want to learn 15 different houses. I guess, yeah, you're right. I can just take what I want. I can put Warforged back in. My players are going to be so mad at me if I stopped an Eberron campaign just to restart an Eberron campaign. Maybe not. Maybe they won't. I don't know. I get what you're saying, though. I could just take Eberron campaign, stick it in Shadowdark, make it so that if they pick a Warforged, they can only be these 3 classes, because that's kind of what I want to do. If they pick a Dwarf, they can be these 3 classes. Okay. Why? All right. Do I use an Eberron campaign? Campaign for the setting. Tab into that. Can I keep Eberron deadly? Okay. All right. Good question, Kevin. Let's see the Phoenix GM. The Arbacus. No, I'm saying it wrong. Arquebus. Okay, the Arquebus was one of the first real-world firearms. Is it really? Wait, really? So it's not a magic item? Like how? Okay, how does it work? You have. I'm gonna have to ask you about arquebuses tomorrow, Phoenix GM. All right. AJ Henning says for sure. Underprepping makes me stress in prep session though. Hang on, which causes burnout for me. So for sure. Okay, underprepping makes you stress in pre-session though, which causes burnout. And I think that's the thing what I've been doing, right? Because it comes up to a Saturday and I'm like, oh crap, it's Saturday. Like, you know, I want to do this thing so I don't have to do that on a Saturday. Like on a Saturday I go, so what are you guys doing? Where are you guys going? They tell me I have a couple random encounters based on regional things, based on where they are in the world. They tell me where they're going to go. I already kind of know what's in that area because I have a hex crawl that, like, I mean, this is my hex crawl from before. I just didn't do this work. I didn't do this work to figure out what the city of Shiloh was. I know that the city of Shiloh was a city, and I knew that, like, you know, a few details about it. I'm not trying to flesh out the world too much. Like I don't want to make a bunch of cities, like maybe one city and a bunch of areas around with like factions and some forts and stuff, and then like a bunch of mysterious dungeons that are like taken over by things. Yeah, I don't want to get too crazy with it. Like I don't want to go through and make Shiloh City and then know the name of every NPC there. I don't think I could keep all that information, but I definitely think I could do what this gloaming thing has, right? Like I could, this is not actually the book that has the gloaming. I have the gloaming book, and I think I could do, 10 or 15 points on the map that are all points of interest around this general idea, and then 3 sessions in, I could definitely start tailoring things to what my players are looking for. But I kind of, in my mind, I need to have what the framing of the setting is, if that makes sense. Right. Nothing wrong with hijacking one of the best MMOs ever. We're talking about Eberron. I understand what you mean. I mean, I liked Eberron. I played in 3.5 Eberron. That was probably one of my favorite campaign settings. My first character I played was one of the Scions, and then I played a Mind Blade, and then I played Warforged, I think. I had a lot of fun in that setting. I liked the way that game system's characterization was. Now that I'm thinking about it, I could do Eberron, and I could go look up and see if someone has made a Scion class for Shadowdark. Same thing with Mind Blades or whatever. That would be interesting. All right, let me go back. You guys are getting me dangerously close to playing Dungeons and Dragons again. Stop that immediately. I will not forget that we had 3-hour combats. Staying with Shadowdark, Eberron. Okay, because my brain is playing tricks on me right now and asking me like, why aren't you playing Eberron? Our game sessions dragged way too much. All right. Well, to be honest, Kevin and AJ and all of you people who are suggesting this, my players would probably be pretty stoked about playing in Eberron Shadowdark, so long as I kept it lazy and stuff. All right. Let's see. Kevin Dudley, lazy DM spiral out method. So I've watched some of Lazy DM's videos. I haven't watched his videos extensively on how to do the lazy DM prep work and stuff, and I probably should start a bit more. Ave Destron says all you need is a town and a dungeon to start and some background. That's right. I know that's true, and I think this is, for me, this is like the background. Also, you don't have to retcon anything if you don't detail it from the beginning. Okay. He was talking about being low to the ground. Oh, it's all good. Okay. I understand what you mean. Low to the ground in tone or in caliber or something. Okay. Okay, my method is, where do I want the story to end? Huh. Okay. I don't know much about WoW. Oh, I never do that. And we work back from there. It ends where the players end up. All right. Kevin says, there needs to be a fixed... There we go. All right, I've caught back up again. There needs to be a fixed frame by the end, then frame the beginning, detail some NPCs, and let the players fill in the rest. Focus on what you can control. Lazy DM spiral campaign method. I will look that up. Player backstories are always the first and most fleshed out thing in my world. Interesting. All right, let me add that. I like that. Questions. I'm going to add it as a question. Nope. What? No. How can I tie my player's backstory to the world? Who are my players in this world? Okay. Let's see, focus on what you can control. I missed something, hang on. Okay, build the setting off the world you're doing. One session prep at a time, consistent. All right, I'm missing something now. Fixed endpoint, Shadowdark. Oh. Missing a comment. Something was deleted or something. It ends where the players end up. Okay. Oh, no, it's just way back up here. Okay, I apparently got behind again. Let's sort of end. Never do that. Okay, needs to be a fixed point. Read these things. All right. When you dump too many options on the players, okay. All right, there was a comment that I'm missing now, and I don't see it. All right. Needs to have a fixed endpoint, just a story arc. Yeah, it was just a story arc. Now, the whole using an animal as a method of power to transport yourself is Star Trek Discovery. Oh, I see. I get it. All right. I watched, I think, one episode of Star Trek Discovery. No, maybe two. I saw the primer episode. I don't know. It just didn't feel very Star Trek to me. I wasn't into it. I don't think I actually like the Kirkman or whatever the new guy is writing Star Trek. I'm not a big fan of. See, it doesn't mean the character story is over, but this chapter is okay. When you dump too many options on players, it just becomes the everything campaign, and people kind of get overloaded. Shadowdark has a druid class and a pit fighter class. I haven't seen the druid class. Do you know which cursed scroll the druid's part of? I haven't seen that one. Not sure about the artificer or the gadgeteer. Yeah, I saw that. I know about the pit fighter one. That's the character that's like super survivable, but I don't recall the druid one. Let's see. I build a setting in world like you are doing. One session at a time prep. I start with an outline so the world stays consistent. I flesh out those points based on the player exploration interest. And you know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to give them some option where they could just get across the map instantly. So it will be hopefully them exploring like hex by hex and coming in contact with things and learning more about the world and fleshing it out as they're interested. And maybe I'll even make different ways of traveling across the world. For example, like overland travel versus maybe tunnels or something, or even riverboat. Yeah. Right. Basically, frame the end, then frame the beginning. Detail some NPCs. Let the players fill in the rest. Focus on what you control. Okay, lazy dick. All right, I did get that. So maybe I missed something earlier on. All right, here we are. Now I caught back up with what I missed. Player backstories are always the first and most fleshed out things in my world. So I guess I skipped a few comments in there. All right, yeah, and that interests me. I'm interested in trying to do that. I'm not quite sure I know how to do that. I have to get my players to give me feedback on what their character's backstory is or something. All right, let's see. Hagen says, okay, this is great for low to the ground playthroughs though, especially when you keep the progression slow. Okay. All right. Writer? No, we are not writers, I hope. And you know what, Austin, I've heard mixed things on that, and I'm obviously still hearing mixed things on that. Is there a consensus about that? Like, is there, man, I guess I could make a video about this. All right, this is a new video idea. Is there a consensus on writing a story? What, you know what, it's gonna be a really simple video. What is the job of a DM? That is not an M, that's a 3. What is the job of a DM? Help me make a video. Because I mean, I keep hearing mixed stuff. I mean, obviously, people are like, yo, it's the job of a DM to keep your players entertained. It's the job of a DM to make the game fun. It's the job of the DM to, you know, blah, 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 whatever. Like, everyone be happy. It's the job of the DM to write a story and take your players through. No, it's the job of the DM to just create a setting. And, like, I hear mixed information almost to the point where it's like, it is an absolute minefield to... to even ask the question, what is the job of a DM? Because I'm going to get so much, like, almost conflicting advice. Is there a way to come to a consensus about this? Or is this something like,
Like, is there a politics in this? Is this a politics thing? I don't mean like politics. I mean like, is this a tabletop RPG politics idea? You know, I'm curious. Okay, and apparently I might need to make a bullet point. Is this politics? TTRPG politics. Okay, I'll probably make that later today. All right, see, do no prep plots. No, hold on, writer, okay. Do not prep plots, prep situations. Advice from the Alexandrian. You can't get caught in the plot corner if you didn't prep a plot. I agree. And I don't want to prep a plot. Okay, so Kevin, what would you do with this information that I have right here? I have all this information about what I'm thinking. What would you do with this? Like how do you just start your players in this setting without, like, let's say this is kind of what I'm looking for, you know, company, forts, island, unicorn man. I want some of these things. How do I just start this without doing this page of prep and also keep my head about things? I guess my question is, do you think this is obvious? Like, do you think this is too convoluted, or is this too much? Like, is this too much stuff for the world? All right. My mouse is frozen. Why are you frozen? There we go. You can get caught in the plot corner. Okay, got that. Posted link. Okay, so I posted links in the Discord so they don't get lost. That's thank you. I appreciate that. I prepare small areas, 3 locations. There we go. 3 locations, 3 encounters, pretty much it. All right. You don't have to start immediately. Just plan the ending. Don't plan the ending. You need an interesting premise, right? So like Midwest Malachi, you and AJ Hennings are saying the exact opposite thing. You know, I'm not like, you know, fight, but I'm like, you guys are saying the exact opposite thing. Like AJ Hennings is saying definitely plan the ending, and you're saying definitely don't plan the ending. Okay, so which of those things is correct? And assume that there's not a correct answer. What kind of different games is each one of those play styles going to lend to, right? Like, because I don't get the idea that AJ Hennings is saying that you have to railroad your players through a story, but I get the idea he's saying that he wants the NPCs in his world to have goals that if the players don't do a thing, those goals are completed flawlessly. But if the players do a thing, then maybe those goals aren't completed. Like, that's the idea I'm getting. But AJ wants, AJ, you can tell me if I'm misrepresenting your idea, but the idea I'm getting is you have, the Empire is building a Death Star, and if the rebels don't show up to the Death Star to sabotage the efforts, the Death Star is going to be completed and the galaxy is going to have a new threat, right? And Malachi, it sounds like you're saying you have players and they're just on the forest moon of Endor, right? And they don't really know about the Death Star yet, but eventually they figure out, oh, are they building a giant moon up there that can shoot planets, right? Something like that. Let me know if I'm getting that right. Kevin says, I'm running Scarlet Citadel in Shadowdark right now. 5e campaign. Is Scarlet Citadel a 5e campaign? Okay. I can link my campaign notes in the Discord. I would love that. Please. Thank you, Kevin. TSL Frontman says, in Medias Res has a few common rules. The players don't need to know more than the last 10 minutes of action. It involves a MacGuffin. The PCs receive one answer, direction to go, but also many questions. All right, interesting. Don't need to know more than the last 10 minutes of action. Okay, so you've arrived on the beach, blah, 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 or something. Okay, I mean, is what I'm creating so far, can I apply in Medias Res? Am I saying that right? In Medias Res? If there's a phonetical way I'm supposed to pronounce that, let me know. Is there a way to apply in Medias Res to the situation that I'm writing right now? AJ Hennings, there should be a desired outcome. There is a difference between forcing the outcome and arbitrary one through storytelling. If you are forcing your players, that is bad. Okay, Kevin says best book about letting go of best book about letting go of over prepping is what? Yeah, let me know what that book is about letting go of over prepping. Okay, AJ says, if you have given your players no direction because you are lazy, no prep, this is also bad. Nothing wrong with basically having 3 to 5 options resolution for an arc saga campaign, but have some idea. I'd never tell you to play 5e. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I prefer
WFRP. WFRP. I'm not familiar with that acronym. I know it. No, hang on. Warhammer Fantasy role-playing game. Okay. I've heard lots of positive things about that. Agreed, Kevin. Friends don't let friends play 5e. I mean, okay. At this point, at least in my circle of involvement, like most people are like, yeah, 5e is pretty trash, and I am of the persuasion that 5e is pretty trash, like from a fundamental standpoint. I just don't understand the system. It's totally incongruent to me, and I don't understand how people don't understand that it's incongruent. But it's like, it's almost not even worth arguing with anyone about it. Like, if someone is enjoying 5e, I'm like, great, enjoy your time in 5e, great, awesome. I don't need to change your mind about it. Let's see, AJ Henning says, I like setting heavy tabletop RPGs. I like letting the players interact in a living world, not being like the soul. Oh man, every time I scroll down, it goes all the way down to the bottom, and it's not what I meant to do. Soul defining characters in the world building. Okay, basically, yeah, 5e in a nutshell. Okay. I see. First we fight bandits, then we eventually kill God. Not a fan of the latter. Keep it small, keep it localized, keep it fun. Kevin says might be stripping my links, but I put them in your Discord. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't think YouTube likes links at all. Come with the bear. Ahoy. Let's see. Oh, ahoy all, and present factions and cultures that the players could potentially draw multiple characters from. This is Shadowdark, so they may die. That's a good point. Yeah, and I think that's I think that's an interesting way for me to introduce classes. Not to make it too video gamey, but I could start my players off with a few basic classes and present them with new classes as they meet factions in the world. For example, they unlock druids or something. I'm not married to it, but I'm not married to my own idea. Your idea is good, presenting factions and having them get multiple characters from them. DM's job is to present challenges to your players. I've gotten that. I've gotten that thing. I have come away from the Waterdeep dragon heist idea of taking my players by the nose through a chase scene to get a MacGuffin. Like I don't want to do that anymore. That's not fun. Right. Let's see. Hex crawls, heavy prep. Nope, that was a hoy hoy. Okay, all right. The Bear also says, have you spoken to your players and found out if they're interested in hex crawling or prefer more casual modern exploration, fast travel, etc.? Kevin says hex crawls are heavy prep. But question, Kevin, is the heavy prep that you have to do for the hex crawl paid off by the low prep you might have to do pre-session? Is there a trade-off? I get the sense there's a trade-off. If I do a hex crawl now, I don't have to do a lot of, mid like before session prep. Let's see. Kevin Dudley says, okay, I think this varies based on the player's table or TTRPG. Okay, the DM. Kevin says, look into point crawls. So I have heard of point crawls, and I actually thought of maybe doing my hex crawl as a point crawl. Someone showed me a point crawl map, and that was pretty interesting. Like, where it was kind of like playing. There's a video game I'm trying to think of. It's not like The Witcher. It's more like Final Fantasy 13 or something. Or no, that's a little more linear. I don't know. Final Fantasy 7. It's open, there's a lot of stuff, and you can go to points, and then maybe you can like fast travel back to older points or something. Yeah. Let's see. Travel between. Okay, look at the point crawls. Just throw the points. Just throw the points of interest on the map. Travel in between is just some random encounters and play. Company gives the players a job to do something small. I got you. Okay. This is a lot. I'd be focusing on the first adventure. All right, Dudley, what would you focus on the first adventure for this setting that I'm making? Like, let's say I have this as a framework for what I want. I want eventually it to be the players build up a fort. The players might get an airship. There are floating cities. There's a company. There's an evil unicorn man who injects people with his unicorn horn and mind controls them. Like, I have all these things. There are crystals in the world. How do I start a first session? Bang, with all this stuff in mind. Let's see. This is enough stuff. Just let your brain marinate in it. So when players ask questions about whatever, about whatever you can be, like, okay, hold on. This is enough stuff. Just let your brain marinate in it. When players ask questions about whatever, you can be like, oh yeah, it's this is my setting, and so by the setting logic, I can answer this question. I got you. Okay, fun. Honestly, LOL. It's what's fun at your table. Anyone who has a fixed way of GMing is doing it wrong. Read the room. It's a table by table thing, which is my session 0, which is why my session 0 is so important. Dudley says NPCs have goals that will or won't affect the players 100%. Okay. Agile Monk wanted to say hello, wish you well, and recommend you stop letting the perfect get away with the good. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And just have a great game. Have fun and enjoy what you have with your family. It doesn't have to be perfect. I agree. You know what? Okay, you got it right. And there have been a couple times where I've been working for the perfect. I think in my last couple sessions, I was actually striving for the good because I sensed that I was missing some stuff. And, you know, I mean, I'm still learning this thing. And in the last 2 months that I've, maybe is it 3 months? In the last several months that I've been doing this, like on YouTube, I have developed and grown a lot. Like there's a lot of things I've learned about how to run the game, and like mostly by people answering questions. That's very helpful. This is like the cheapest education I've ever gotten, just having you guys tell me the answers to stuff that you already know. It's so helpful. So, you know, but with that, I'm going, okay, I know that I made this mistake by playing 5th edition. I know that I made this mistake by playing a narrative campaign that was like a set story. I know, like, I mean, like, that was a real annoying thing, and realizing that, because when my players wanted to do a thing, I'm like, oh, sorry, you can't do that because the story won't work anymore. Realizing I didn't make a campaign primer, realizing I jumped into a narrative game before I understood how to run the narrative game. Like, you're right, I am a little bit aiming for perfect, but I'm also trying to find the good here too. But I appreciate the suggestion. I'm gonna try and just make this good and stick with it for a while. Kumit the Bear agrees. AJ Hennings agrees. Everyone agrees with you, Agile Monk. See, both and neither are correct when we're coming to. Okay, I'm guessing this is coming to how to GM. Let's see. Best is unframed. Link in the Discord. Okay. I'm gonna check some of these things while I'm here. All right. So I have messages. That's from Gary down here, maybe. Let's see. I'm gonna go down a little ways now. Chat arena. Hold on. I watched this guy too, John Del Arrows. John Del Arrows. I don't know how to say his name, but I've seen some of his videos too. I get the point he's trying to make a lot of the time. Well, I'm not seeing where you have linked the things before, unless this is you. I mean, oh, Black Lodge, maybe that's you. I will have to find it soon. But so you're saying you've sent me links to them. Thank you. If you have links to any of the things you are recommending, like, the best book is Unframed. Link in Discord. Okay. Yeah, let me know where you're posting those in the Discord so I don't miss them. Unframed. Thank you. AJ Hennings, thank you. I hope you will come to understand this as he's such a good guy. Thank you so much, Agile. I appreciate the encouragement. No, do not railroad. There should be a consequence and weight to the world. The world should be moving. I think I agree with that. That makes sense. The players pick whether they interact, what the world does, it will continue to do as it has done before in the venture. Okay, begin with, all right? Agile Monk agrees. Frontman, in medias res, beginning suggestion, rip off Mega Man Legends. PCs start halfway through a dungeon to get the mother crystal. Interesting. Loot or whatever. Picking it up tells them the rules, catastrophic results. Interesting. Okay, so, So they're in the middle of the session on their way to get the crystal. They pull the crystal out and the whole thing starts dropping something or other. Okay, so let me go back to this first session. Right, hang on. Let's see. Players. Okay, start in the middle of their first mission to collect a mother crystal. They find out what happens. Stop it. When they take it. That's interesting. Let's see. I don't want to tell my players how to defeat the big bad evil guy. I subscribe to the tabletop RPG mantra of plan problems, not solutions. I think AJ and I are closer in philosophy than it might seem. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Mainly emphasize, I still think I like the idea of asking a question. What is the job of a dungeon master? I think your responses and your answers are going to be very interesting. Let's see. TSL Frontman mainly emphasized that they were just there for another job, but quickly learned this job has details they didn't know beforehand and would have really appreciated knowing. Interesting. Okay, so they're sent into a mission with little information. They're trying to do a thing, and then they realize they need to take this crystal for some reason. Middle of a mission to do something. Okay, I'm going to put a question mark there. To do something. Question marks. And this is going to be no. Tab. During mission, they need to collect a mother crystal. Okay. And I don't know how to make them collect a mother crystal without forcing it. I also don't know what mission they're on, but you're right. I think I need to let these marinate. I don't know, listen to some music or something. I'm going to continue up with, get the rest of the comments here, and I'm going to go get something to eat. So I'm going to wrap up in just a minute. Thank you all so much for. I am gonna finish reading through the comments, but thank you all for all your help and suggestions doing this. This has been fun. I was just gonna say this has been fun to write this out and get ideas from people. I really appreciate it. So yeah, let me continue reading, and then I'll sit with this for a while and then come back to it. Let's see. Going back over here, players pick up, interact. Okay, it does. Okay, absolutely. TSL Frontman. Okay. Kevin says, yeah, I only plan problems. Okay, AJ Hennings. HUM later with what you have framed. Okay, so we can knock out a 3-session prep in 20 minutes. Promise. Oh, okay. So I can call you and we can talk about this. That sounds good. I appreciate that, AJ. Thank you. There is a trade-off, but it's a lot of front-loaded work for a hex crawl. Yes, there is a trade-off, but it's a lot of front-loaded work for a hex crawl. Tell me what you, if you can, tell me what you mean by that. Like, how would you make a hex crawl without doing this kind of work? Do you mean like you kind of randomly generate it as you go? Like you let the players discover a tile, you roll dice. Oh, look, you're in a frozen tundra. There's a dungeon here or something. Like, is that what you mean? Or like how does that work? Kevin says, my problem with hex crawls is the cascading edits you have to make as things change. First sessions, players investigate something given by... first session, players investigate something given by the company. Find clues about the Unicorn Man. Interesting. Okay? So they're following an investigation. So they're doing an investigation, a mission to them given by the company, and they find clues about the Unicorn Man. Got it, okay? Yeah, I think that is enough of an outline. Just go through and throw out the contradictory and boring stuff, okay? A starting scenario can be a consequence of the larger conflicts in the world. Okay, the starting scenario can be the consequence of larger conflicts in the world. Got it. Okay, larger conflicts in the world. Maybe they have to deal with orcs who have been displaced by the big bad evil guy. Got it. Okay. Oh, I put them in announcements. Okay. Oh no, that's okay. I'll find them. I'll find them in the announcements. I was tabbing back and forth too quickly. Have to go. Good luck. Ping me on Discord. I'm happy to chat more. You got this. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Kevin. I will definitely hit you up on Discord and we can get a call going. Let's see. Nemo says I missed a bunch. But let's say you're going high fantasy, but your son wants a gun, so just make a gun that works on magical charges, okay? Or small bits of crystal or something. You don't necessarily have to choose between steampunk and high fantasy. Fair enough point. I gotcha. Yeah. I try to focus on session 0 I try to focus on session 0 at the players. I try to focus a session 0 at the players and literally tell them the metagame information that helps them make decisions for their characters. Set expectation. Got it. Coming up on 4 hours. Thank you so much, Austin. I am about to wrap it up. I appreciate your reminder here. Let's see. Kumit says I agree with this. For the heavy narrative, play for sure becomes more of a group role-playing thing at the table. Ava Destron says, I mean, I spent a lot of work. Let's see. I spent like a lot of work before starting campaigns, setting up tables, keying up hexes so that when the campaign is going weekly, I don't really have to plot or worry too much. Okay, my last campaign, I got very burnt out with weekly prep. It's a ton of work. Yeah, I guess my question would be how do you avoid prep? And I think the answer to that is I might have to look up the Lazy GM's channel and get some more information there. Yeah, okay. Malachi, AJ, Austin, Kumita Bear, Nemo, Abe Destron. Let's see. Oh, Nerdman, thanks for subscribing. Thank you, Stream Elements, for letting me know what's going on there. Kevin, Midwest Malachi. Let's see, I think I got most of TSL Frontman, AJ, or sorry, Agile Monks. Agile Monk. There are more of you. You all hung out and helped me out with this. So the Phoenix DM. Any of you who are able to chat with me a little bit this week, I have some time tomorrow morning. I have some time this afternoon before I get ready to start my session with Gary. So like we're gonna be starting our session around 8:30. I'm gonna go eat something to eat. I'm gonna do some other work. But yeah, anyone who has some ideas on how to help me get this started or narrowed down, I appreciate your thoughts. Everyone else, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for chatting me through this, and I appreciate the time we've had coming up with ideas. This was fun. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Oh, John, there you are. God bless you all. Have a great day. I am going to make a video. What is the job of a GM? I might change the title a little bit, but it's going to be another one of these help me make a video. And it'll also give me something to read the comments on. I really enjoy doing those help me make a videos and learning. Like I learned the scary game thing, and I still have one more on the books I have to go back to. But all right, you all have a great day. God bless you. I'll talk to you all later. Thank you so much. Let me go over here and stop streaming.